Grogu's and Gragras, please welcome to the stage, Watu!
Come on, more energy than that, come on! Come on! An unprompted standing ovation, there we go! There we go, there we go, there we go! There we go! There we go, there we go! Yes, we can hope! 2012, is that when that started? Thank you all for that very kind, organic, spontaneous reaction. And thank you in the booth for almost saying my name correctly. He's tough, he's regional. Hello. How are you all doing on this rainy night? Our producer, Patrick Kottner, came up to me backstage before the show, which, by the way, good on all of you for holding your applause at the mention of his name. Good instincts. Don't do it. Don't do it. He said, bad news, Watto. You're going to have to do the warm-up from the little stairs in front of the screen. And I said, what do you mean, need? And he said, well, it's just a very narrow amount of space in front of the screen. It's a real tightrope walk. I think you shouldn't do it. So I want to say to everybody, thank you so much for coming out tonight. Who here, by show of hands, has seen, witnessed, absorbed, in some form, any version? I didn't finish the question yet. Keep those hands down. You don't know what I'm going to say. Observed any sort of murder. You, sir, a confession. This is why you have to let sentences end. Who here has in any form absorbed or taken in a George Lucas talk show? Raise a show of hands. Okay, healthy. Okay, we got the guy here in the second row going like this. I don't know quite what that means. I'm gonna move over here to the second set of stairs for a different set of questions. Raise your hands if you have never seen any form of the George Lucas talk show before. Raise the hand. Okay, healthy. Healthy. Now I want to say so. Keep the hands up, keep the hands up, keep the hands up. Now I want to be very clear about this. This is an incredibly safe space. Right now, this might be the safest space in all of America. This is a judgment-free zone. This is a no-spin zone. And so I'm going to ask a question, and I want it to be understood that the question is being asked in the best nature possible, and no one will judge the answer that is received. You right there. Yep, yes, you. You did the part perfectly of going, who, me? Perfect, like on cue. Safe space, no wrong answers. Warm room, no spin zone. What do you think this is? I said no wrong answers. You're putting me in a bit of a bind in terms of kayfabe and such. Here's what I'm going to say. Oh no, I couldn't hear you. What do you think this show is? Person next, one over. Correct. Unbelievably correct. Maybe two correct answers, who knows? Here's the deal. Some years ago, a tragedy happened, an American tragedy. George Lucas was the victim of a kidnapping. People often go, the victim of the kidnapping, the kid. Really, it's the parent. They're the ones who have to suffer with the absence. The middle of the night, a night much like this, storming outside, lightning crackles, ooh, scary, cobwebs. glass shatters. What is that noise? He runs upstairs. He goes to the nursery. The crib, empty. Aww. Inside, all that's left is a note written in blood. A ransom note written in blood. Dear George, here are the $6 billion we agreed upon. Thank you for selling us Star Wars. Love, the Walt Disney Corporation. Thieves! They stole his baby! And the crooked media won't even talk about it. Anyway, George turned sadness into opportunity, tragedy into artistic expression. He said, finally, I can explore other sides of my personality, my sparkling wit, my ability to connect with any other human being, my silver tongue, and my interest in any number of topics that don't relate to the 17 movies that I worked on. And thus, the George Lucas Talk Show began 10 years ago as a series of self-funded test concept shows. And that is where we exist still today, looking for a network. I guess really waiting out the clock on, do network talk shows stop being a thing before we stop doing this? It might be a photo finish. Anyway, this was the warm-up, as you can probably tell, because you all feel warm as fuck. I apologize in advance if I made everyone laugh too much and there are no laughs left over for the actual show. That's the price you pay. But let's just run through a few quick exercises. What are you going to do if something really exciting happens tonight? Yeah. It's up for interpretation. We want creativity, but you're not part of the show, so don't do too much. What are you going to do if something really funny happens? Absolutely. What are you going to do if there's a projector malfunction, they just start playing Wicked Part 1? I don't think you need to boo it. It's a crowd pleaser. You go in with your arms crossed, you go, Wicked, what does this thing have to do for me? And by the end, you have tears in your eyes. And you're like, I don't even know if I respect it, but it hits. It's saving the industry. Anyway, let's start the fucking show.
Please welcome retired filmmaker George Lucas.
High fives all around. I'm George Lucas, creator of Star Wars. Welcome to the George Lucas Talk Show. Do you want to? Our guests are on stage. Do you want to?
Well, this is I did a little twist.
Well, that's great.
Usually I welcome guests to the stage.
That's right.
This time the guests were on the stage. We welcome you to the guests.
I feel very welcome.
We let you run our way here. Oh, we got the great panel tonight. Alan Cerny, Joe Leydon, and Drew Feustel. Feustel? Did I get any of those correct? Yes. First time's the charm.
I don't know if everybody saw, there was a step I hadn't anticipated when I entered. I hurt my foot considerably.
No.
There was a drop I wasn't aware of.
One of these guys or where?
I came in through, Patrick, go examine it.
Yeah,
You'll
sure.
see
Hang on one
exactly.
sec. Okay, here we go.
All right, Patrick's going to experience what I experienced.
This will be great. Two of us will be hurt. This is fun.
Well, but you know what's coming, so
I guess.
Just imagine you don't know. You think you're at the bottom.
You're saying right here you thought was the bottom?
I thought that was the bottom. Now
And
take a
then,
step.
whoa, big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. I get it.
it's rough at my
But
age.
see, what just happened was like a prequel, because he knew the end point.
That's right. And yet it's still exciting to see, even though you know where it's going.
Exactly.
It still works.
He proved all the critics wrong, which we have two critics on the stage tonight. This is a good time to debate this point.
Well, that's right. This is a great balance of things because, I mean, this isn't just going to be a discussion of Star Wars, but Star Wars is really about two things, film and space.
Mm-hmm.
Bing bong.
Those are the two aspects. So we have film critics and space traveler.
Traveler.
Something. Is my mic
Traveler.
still working?
Tell me what you want to say, and I'll say it for you.
Is that the right? Would you like that, space traveler?
Yes. I
Would
think
you
that's
be
appropriate.
offended if we said that tonight on stage, and this is a question for all three of you.
Yeah.
Would you be offended if I said that tonight we have an astronaut sandwich in between two pieces of film criticism bread?
It's difficult to offend me.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Let's say two slices.
Two slices
of film.
Two hot slices of
Two
film critics.
Film criticism.
Sure.
But it's an astronaut sandwich. But you're more than an astronaut. You're also an aquanaut.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You lead with astronaut, but do you ever? How impressive is it to say I'm also an aquanaut?
I've actually never said that.
You've never said that?
Can we do it tonight for the first time?
Only once.
One time. Just
time.
one time. And you don't have to do it now. We can save it at any point in the show. Make it
thought-
count.
You just
Is there
did it.
any other kind of knot that you are? Because right now you're a double knot. You're an astro and aqua.
There's not.
There is not.
Wow.
But
I mean, I don't think so.
you're comfortable exploring the worlds of linguistics with wordplay.
Here's a question, because I think we all have existential crises, right? In any line of work, in any form of being, you go through moments, who am I, what am I, right? Do you find that sometimes in your life you feel like a knot and sometimes you don't?
Okay.
That's all that deserved. Nothing more.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think the answer is yes. You said there were no wrong answers.
correct. Safe
The
space.
answer is yes. I feel that way sometimes.
Great.
I'm curious now, when you apply for like
Into the mic,
Into
Joe.
the microphone.
Into the mic.
Hello. There you go.
There we go.
when you apply for a credit card and they have occupation, do you put astronaut?
Or do you
I'm
put
serious.
motherfucking astronaut?
Or do you say geophysicist?
Or astronaut, and do they ever doubt it? It's like, yeah, buddy.
Okay,
right.
buddy. Okay, pal.
Yeah.
All right, Joker.
I've been pulled over a few times.
In space?
No.
My
You have
mind
to be
was about
very
to be
careful
blown.
about when
They say,
you use
hey,
the word astronaut.
do you know how fast you were going? And you say, I've gone faster.
They're like, obviously, yeah.
How does that conversation go, though?
Yeah.
It depends on what I'm wearing.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear some examples. What are you wearing in these actual things that
If
happen?
I'm wearing a blue flight suit,
Yeah.
it goes well.
Right.
If I'm not, it takes longer to leave.
You see, here's the thing. I'm a filmmaker. I'm a storyteller. I'm retired. But if I were a cop, and again, I don't mean to, but I've imagined crazier things than that in the stories I've told.
Sure.
If I were a cop and I pulled over a guy who was dressed normally, and he said, "I'm an astronaut," that would be more convincing to me than someone who was driving a car while dressed like an astronaut.
Unless there was,
Because someone who was deluding themselves would never take off the outfit. A confident astronaut doesn't need to be in his space gear when he's on terra firma.
George believes in the storytelling principle of tell, don't show.
That's right.
okay, unless there's two of you.
Right.
And then you might both be wearing the same suit.
Oh, then you.
then
So you
if-
think more than one person dressed like an astronaut? They couldn't just have found themselves on like
In the same
a
car.
subreddit for people who want to be astronauts.
How
Right.
often are you in a car with more than one astronaut?
Occasionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's better than nothing.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
occasionally.
what there's more than me, and so sometimes we ride in cars together.
Okay, great.
Here's a big question for you. Is your entire life this? Every time you walk into a room, do you get these same 20 questions?
How many cars do you ride in with astronauts? How often are you wearing a spacesuit in a car? Those kind of
space
questions.
the
What's it like to be a
shit.
double knot? Common question.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
This is a unique experience.
Great. Now, I want to ask because we're going to pivot a little bit, although I'm going to get back to the Aquanaut thing in a
we-
bit. Do you have, as one of the only two people on this stage who has been to outer space,
Right.
because Watto, you have been to outer space.
Born and raised, baby.
That's right. Do you have a favorite movie set in space? And then we're going to pivot to talking to the film critics because I think this is, and it doesn't have to be Star Wars. It doesn't have to be.
But it should.
No. Honestly, if it's. I only want it if it's. I don't. At this point, I don't need it. You know what I mean? I know enough
You
people.
have nothing to prove.
I got nothing to prove.
And if it's a lie, we can hear it.
Yeah,
you know
we'll
what I'm
know.
saying? The truth hits the ear differently. So we only want to hear it if it's what your heart believes.
Is there a space movie that you like to watch over and over again?
All of them.
But
Okay.
if you,
I'm
but if
serious.
You, burning building. You can only save one.
Let's not even say, here's a better scenario. You're going on a space mission.
Oh, perfect.
You get to take one disc with you. It is your spaceship disc of one movie.
I wouldn't go.
You wouldn't go!
Oh wow. This is how you will not make the choice.
He demands
No,
a full media library.
I cannot make the choice. I love all
Wa-
space
was,
movies.
was there a first one? Like, is there a childhood
Do you
one that
remember-
kind of lit the spark?
Well, Star Wars.
Oh, you know, I'll take it because it
Sounds
feels
like- it
it's
felt
true.
real.
Now,
It hit the
but
ear
it doesn't
right.
narrow down. Phantom Menace, I'm assuming, the first one.
The first one.
Do you want it to be that?
I mean, you know what I want, but it's. I'll know. You're demographically, you are not the age of the people who love Phantom Menace. Most people our age and in that generation are going to
Back it
like
up.
the later movies, episode 4, episode
Wait,
5, episode
well-
6.
Yeah, which came
The OT.
first.
Well, from a certain point of view, yes.
Yeah. In time.
Now,
Wait.
Joe and Alan, I'll pose the same question to you. You've had a few minutes now to really, and I'm sure this is a question you've thought about. Favorite space movie?
That would be E.T.
E.T.
Yeah.
Although it's mostly an Earth movie, I would argue.
True, but
It's like a lot of stuff. I mean, it's mostly, that's an Earth movie.
yeah,
It's about a space tourist. He comes here.
that's very true. It's
Very,
not exact-
I'm just saying provocative choice. And I like it. I like the version, because that was made by my buddy Steve. And there was a version where I got him to replace all of the FBI's guns with walkie-talkies.
Yeah, that was a bad move.
Well, I mean,
For the cops, I mean.
Yeah.
but doesn't it is more dramatically interesting if the FBI is sort of just like they only have these like communication devices and suddenly they have to call in a different skill set?
Yeah, and there's a scene that they took out where he was supposed to be a terrorist for Halloween, and Steve took that out too.
Yeah, we defeated the terrorists in
That's
a
right.
fictional scenario. We removed them entirely.
He
Also,
took the penis breath out as well, I believe, right?
No,
Yes,
that's
true.
still there, I think.
I think it's back in
it's
now.
back.
Yeah.
penis breath is back.
Penis breath is back.
But
Penis
also-
breath is back and better than ever. One would argue. Yes.
Also, E.T. took a bath. That was new.
Yep, that was new. That was in the 2002 version. Yeah.
Did you like that?
The George cut.
I'm a fan of the OT, the original one.
Okay, the rough cut. All right.
Yeah, the rough cut.
OTET.
All right.
OTET, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Joe, do you have a favorite space movie? A Trip to the Moon. We're going all the way back. So this is for you, the OG is A Trip to the Moon.
It's a long time ago.
Most people, this is one where he gets a can of soup or whatever in his eye.
It's a rocket. What are you, a can of
Looks
soup?
like a can of soup.
The whole thing is a spaceship.
No, but it looks like a can of soup.
Yeah.
but it isn't.
The moon gets the spaceship
Yeah.
right in the eye there.
Can of soup right in the eye.
What was the plot of that movie?
Let's hold the mic up to your mouth, Joe.
They went to the moon. Basically.
That was the plot?
Yeah. I mean, it was like a
And then the
14-minute.
soup hit
it's
the
a
guy in the
14
eye.
Yeah.
It's a short subject, very ambitious for the time, very groundbreaking. People were mystified. These are the days when you make a train movie and the audience gets scared
Yes,
that the
exactly,
train is going to hit them.
Right.
Exactly.
So Trip to the Moon.
Like
no-
the movie
moon
that
has
came out right before A Trip to the Moon was like two people kissing. And there were riots in the streets. And it was 5 seconds long. So the fact that people were like, they go to the moon, it was like, this is the most narratively complicated thing I have ever seen on screen.
Now, are you able to, because there are lots of movies where people take a trip to the moon since that one. It's very influential. Or where people go to other planets, things like that. How often do you watch A Trip to the Moon?
Well, when I was teaching, I had to watch it about 3 or 4 times a year because I would show it to students.
Would you discover new things in it each time?
I like the fact that all of these people were walking around the moon and they didn't need any breathing devices.
Right.
They just
Because nobody knew what the moon was like.
And also when it started snowing on the moon.
Yeah. That's nice. And that's also smart because then you can play it every Christmas. That's like a smart move.
Not too many people know this, but A Trip to the Moon actually is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I buy it. I buy it. If Die Hard's a Christmas movie, A Trip to the Moon is certainly a Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah. The 400 Blows is a Christmas movie.
That's
Seriously, you ever, look closely in the background? I mean, there's this poor kid walking down the street, and there's a storefront with Christmas decorations and things like that.
Boom. You can't do that and not make it a Christmas movie.
No.
I'd also argue 400 Blows is secretly a space movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tell us why,
That
Wada.
kid's got his head in the stars.
Yeah.
He's daydreaming all the time.
Of course, Francois also worked with my buddy Steve on a space movie.
Yes.
That's a great space movie. Another space. You like that one, I bet, because it's
Love
a
Close
space movie.
Encounters.
It's all on Earth. You don't have to go into space.
Well,
You
I
like
mean,
it.
Richard Dreyfuss goes into space at the end.
Yeah, but we don't go with him.
That
movie ends.
You like movies that end with people going to space.
You
and
don't like
leaving the movie.
Any movie after the credits, the characters could go to space. We don't know.
Well, that's true, and it's like Star Wars could be a Christmas movie because we don't know when it takes place.
That's a great point.
This is
George.
a
Long-
little
I'll
like
tell you this,
saying,
long before the birth of Christ.
It's a long
Far,
time.
far away.
Yeah. The distance and the time factors make it definitively not a Christmas movie. It's a Life Day movie. I can see that. It's a Life Day movie.
Speaking of Life Day,
Give me that. Give me that.
Sure.
What's that?
I've got your Star Wars Holiday Special on Blu-ray.
All
over
right,
here.
this is illegal. This is illegal. This is a crime. This is a crime. In all 50 states, this is a crime. Thank you. Thank you for turning this in. I'm making a citizen's arrest on this. This is a Blu-ray?
It sure is.
Oh, it's great because only really on a Blu-ray can you really see that this was just a VHS recording of the one time it aired. Is there generative? I hope that there was generative AI to upscale this so we can see every.
How does it look?
Honestly, I could only watch about 20 minutes of it.
I think it was the first instance of generative downscaling. It's in 1p.
Oh boy,
I got it for a Christmas present, too.
This has special features. How did you acquire this?
I got it for Christmas. A friend of mine gave it to me. They know I'm a fan, so.
It's a Christmas movie. So.
Well, certainly like Die Hard, there are crimes being committed. It's certainly a criminal act.
George, I think Alan brought it here to sell it to you. Are you interested in buying it?
Sure, yeah, I'll buy it. I'm not going to give you the kind of asking price you're going to want for this. I'll start
Are you
this.
selling it to him?
No, I mean, you could sign it if you want.
Wait.
Oh, can I sign the disc on the side that has the information?
No, you can sign the top part in Sharpie.
Yeah, there you
If
go.
you sign it, this is
I'll
where
tell you what, I'll
this
sign
is where
this.
you give him money.
I'll sign
not where he
this.
gives you money.
If you buy a copy of my wife's book, Priceless Facts About Money by Melody Hobson.
Got the copy right here. It's a spare.
All right.
Suggested retail price is $19.99. It's a good read. Priceless Facts About Money. It could be argued it's the only book that spending money on it will make you money in the long term.
It's a great investment. Watto, that's your copy. This is my copy. Patrick, take your copy out.
I forgot it this morning when I woke up at 5:30 to get on a plane.
Oh, wait. Okay. So I'm sorry. Let's just clarify this for a moment. One of your best friends, his wife wrote the book.
Yeah.
The last time we did a show in New York City, we all brought our copies of the book. You didn't have one.
I didn't have one.
I had 3.
Yeah.
Because I like to support my friends.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, you said, hey, I'm taking one of these and I'll pay you back for it. Okay? Then I go, where's your copy? When we're in the car today to the show, I go, where's your copy?
Yeah.
He goes, I left it back in California. I go, that's nice. By the way, you never paid me for it. He pulls up Venmo on his phone. He types in 1574. I go, that's a specific number. Where's that coming from? He went, I checked the current price on Amazon. I went on Cyber Monday week. I bought this shit 2 months ago, retail, no discount, full price. He said, how much did it cost? I go, with tax, $21.77, my friend. And he left it in fucking California. And you couldn't even be bothered to buy a new copy here?
There's a Barnes & Noble right across
I know.
the street.
I know. And can I
Across the
tell you?
street.
Can I tell you? Did anyone? I called them and they said we have 1 copy, and then he goes, "Oh no, wait, it's on hold."
Oh, that's so weird. I bought 6 fucking copies.
Over there,
Yeah, of course I did. Because I fucking care about my friend.
the guy literally said we have 1 copy. Wait, did you go over before I called?
I placed an order in the fucking app like a friend does.
You're a good friend, Watto.
He's a
And
good
we were
friend.
panicking backstage because we went, he's going to go over there and try to get one of the copies I ordered before we can pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah, we ran circles around you. Patrick's on the phone trying to put 1 copy on hold. We've already got it totally locked down.
I'd love to gift you a copy of Priceless Facts About Money. Joe,
Here's a
if you
copy
would like
for
a
you.
copy
I
of Priceless Facts About Money.
Yeah.
We're film critics. We absolutely need this.
George,
Yes.
remember last time we met?
Ooh.
we talked?
It's been a minute, yeah. But I do remember.
You and Francis,
My mentor.
we were in a posh hotel suite.
That's the only kind I like.
It was the junket for Tucker,
The Man and His Dream.
Yeah.
Who here has seen Tucker, The Man and His Dream? It's a wonderful movie.
Yes.
It's about a car, a
It's
new
about,
car.
It's about a guy who makes the best car.
Yes. Yes. Well, anyway.
Was it the best?
Yes.
Okay.
It was.
Are you sure?
It's a fictional world. You get to invent the rules. It
Okay,
was
all
the best car.
But it was a real car.
It was a car.
Do you?
It was a real car.
Yeah.
I know it was a real car.
It
but was it the best car?
Yes, the Tucker.
And the man shut it down. That's what the movie's about. It's about the American dream and the institutions shutting down that dream.
Well,
Yeah.
do you remember what you said about your goal in life?
I knew I wanted to maybe make some more Star Wars. I wanted to create a digital sandbox to be able to like kill film projection as a way of watching movies. I knew I wanted to make Red Tails. I knew that. I had a lot of goals. What did I say to you?
Okay, now I'm going to read this fast.
Oh, you can go as slow as you want. That's a long sheet of paper, but I want to hear every.
And it's big print because
I like it.
Yeah. Well, this is coming out of film school. I looked at the world and said, "Well, this isn't the way they told us that it was going to be.
True.
This is terrible.
Bad
We
world.
aren't like what we thought we were."
Bad world.
And that, to a young person, is a revelation. It's like, hey, it isn't a wonderful place. It's a horrible place. And you spend a lot of time saying, I'm going to spring this on the rest of the world. But really, anybody over 30 is well aware of what kind of world this is. And these kinds of revelations, the fact that the world is not what we think it is, I've discovered in my making movies that they don't really help the society very much ultimately.
No.
What helps is to sort of promote the human spirit, to say, let's think of ourselves as those good people that we thought we were up in the fairy tale of adolescence, of childhood, to believe we were. And let's promote those ideas and believe in that. I'm almost finished.
No. You do not need to hurry. I love this.
Because it's that kind of faith that makes it happen in reality. If we feel we're a terrible society, then that will overcome all of us. And it will just be anarchy and death and horror.
That's a really inspiring speech. Can I get a copy of that?
Now, George, how many years past the first divorce was this?
This is not long.
Not long. It's pretty soon
It was still
after.
pretty raw.
About 88.
Yeah.
By the way, there's only one divorce.
That's true.
Let's not say first.
Yeah, and Francis just made a movie basically about this very topic, which is like, look at this horrible city. Let's make a better city. Megalopolis. Did you see Megalopolis?
Oh, yes.
Did you see Megalopolis?
I sure did.
Did you see Megalopolis? So it's kind of, the film critics saw it. The astronauts and aquanauts were not so into it. Because if it had been about a city in the space or at the bottom of the ocean, would you have gone to see it?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
All right. So if it had been like Mega Aquilus or Mega Atlantis
Mega Spaceless.
or Mega Spaceless.
Yes.
What did you think of Megalopolis?
I think it's great. A perfect film.
Special thanks.
I got a special Mia Melody, author of Priceless Facts About Money. Special thanks. That's mostly in the film space these days. I'm mostly just receiving thanks. That's the main focus that I'm doing, is just like get that little thank you out at the end of the movie. Did you like Megalopolis?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You liked it?
I thought it was interesting.
Okay. How many stars out of? What do you use? Some people use popcorn buckets.
I normally go like 1 to 10.
1 to 10. So you got a lot more options. Where you
I
at?
would
7.5? 8.5?
Not quite.
9.5. Wow, you really liked it.
Closer to 5.5.
5.5. So not a passing grade.
On a curve, maybe. Yeah.
On a curve.
But over the hump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the 5. So
It's
yeah, over the 5.
Yeah, I call that the hump.
See, my wife has the biggest crush on Adam Driver, so
Yeah, maybe she meet him in the club.
yeah, exactly. So
So do you think you kind of knocked it a couple stars so that it didn't go to Driver's head? He didn't start feeling himself?
Yeah. This sounds like maybe you blame the movie for stuff that's entirely personal,
it's very possible.
right?
Very
Hey,
possible.
yeah,
Do you know who's the first actor who ever complimented you to me? You said,
No.
what a great director you are. This is
Oh, let me guess. Hold on, let me guess. The first actor who ever said to you about me, he's good at what he does.
It's interesting.
Dreyfus?
Nope.
Okay.
Can I make a guess?
Yeah, let's.
Yeah.
Robert Duvall?
Yes.
Ooh.
You know what my thought process was there?
What?
What was the first movie?
Yeah.
Right.
I went, he was good from the beginning.
Right.
There was no learning course.
THX1138, my first feature.
Yep.
And Duvall said it was like he'd been doing it for 25 years. 25 years the right way.
The right way.
The right way.
I love that.
Bobby Duvall.
I like everything that you've written down. You should write a book about me, because so far I've liked everything. I was doing it the right way. And in some ways, THX1138 is kind of almost the flip side of Megalopolis. And that's also the opposite. Like, that was me trying to show, like, look how bad the world can be. And I think I proved my own later speech that I made correct with that movie, and that people did not want to see a world,
Yes,
a dystopia
yes,
like
yes,
that, where there's no kissing allowed. It's a sci-fi movie where there's no kissing allowed.
Well, also, you said, what if Robert
Wow,
Duvall...
claps in the
Wait.
front row.
You don't wait. Don't like
Claps.
Hold on. Was that anti-kissing applause?
Oh, not even from the same
It's
person.
a different person.
Not even from the same person, because I love to kiss. Canonically, that is true about George Lucas. I love to kiss. I once went on a plane ride that was like 8 hours long when I was dating Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah.
And we were there with my buddy Steve and his then wife, Amy Irving. And my daughter was also there, and we were in a private plane flying to Hawaii. And Linda and I made out the whole time.
That is a real story.
That is a real thing.
That's where you came up with Raiders as well, right? On the beach in Hawaii.
I think this might have been after. This was a later.
That was just a good weekend altogether.
Right. No, because this was later. This is after I'd gotten divorced. Oh, okay. So this is my period where I'm just like, just talk about how great things are and kiss as long as you can. Mm-hmm. If you get a 6-hour kissing session, take it. Take it. So Bobby Duvall spoke highly of me. When was that he said that to you? Into the microphone. Always into the microphone.
This was when I interviewed him around the time of Tender Mercies.
Ah, great movie.
And he, like I say, he thought you hung the moon.
Yo, like from your favorite space movie.
That's what really impressed me.
Yeah.
You know.
Like that's your favorite. That's because that's probably the best character in that movie. A Trip to the Moon is the moon.
Oh yes. Well, look, he gets a
can of soup in his eye. I call it a can of soup.
Oh,
it's a can of soup in his eye, but it's supposed to be a spaceship.
Yeah.
But I think they used a can of soup.
Yeah.
It's a small budget movie.
Yeah, they were doing the best they could. That was their THX 1138 back at the time.
Do we know who played the moon?
Great question. Let's look it up. This is a great question.
Well, a lot of it's a painting.
Or was it like an actor, a famous actor that played the moon face? Or was it just the moon? Was the moon being the moon as the moon?
And the moon sees me.
The moon as himself.
It's moon v magic.
Is that happening now?
What?
What?
No, I'm saying that it's Moon v Magic. That we don't know how they did it, and that was part of what was so amazing
How did we
about
get the
movies.
moon to agree to do the movie?
Yeah, like how did they get the people at the time were like, how did they get the moon to be in this movie?
Right.
Because showbiz was new. People didn't even have agents. Like, how do you reach the moon?
Yeah.
You know?
Do they have a phone number like Bill Murray? They just have to call and leave a message.
No
reps, no
phones.
team.
No team.
What do you got for
So
us,
when this
Patrick?
movie came out, there's no credits because they didn't know how to do credits yet. But then they've reconstructed this cast from available evidence, and the man who played the moon
Ashton Kutcher.
is
Senior.
the director himself, Georges Méliès.
Méliès.
Another George.
Another Georges.
George.
And that's like you like to act in your own.
Well, yeah, I was Baron Papanoida in the third Star Wars movie. Mm-hmm. Really? Yeah, Revenge of the Sith. I don't have any lines.
Can we play? Oh.
No, we don't. I like the way that you looked back.
Thought
That
we
shows
could
the
play a
wonder
clip.
of the movie.
Can we play a clip?
George, you are in Beverly Hills Cop 3, and you can reenact that if you want.
Yeah, did you ever see
Could
Beverly
you?
Hills Cop 3?
Which part?
I play the man who's on a date. I know I can do it from seated.
Kissing?
Okay.
Was it like kissing?
I mean, it's kissing adjacent.
My character is hoping to get on this. I'm going to give backstory. Axel Foley is a cop from Detroit who occasionally travels to Beverly Hills and does cases.
Calling him a Beverly Hills
With
cop is kind of a
bananas.
misnomer.
With
'cause he's in
bananas.
fact fundamentally a Detroit cop.
Yeah, the title is a bit of, it's tongue-in-cheek. And in the third adventure, there's a scene in an amusement park, and my character is a man on a date with a woman, and he's in line, and it's rightfully his turn. Do you remember this?
I do.
It's rightfully his turn to go on the ride. And this this plainclothes cop pushes his way in front, humiliating my character. Because he's there, he's hoping to impress this woman, and now he lets this man just push on his way onto the ride when we should be on that ride. And my character says, "Hey!" And we don't find out what happens after that. I like to think that ultimately the woman he was with saw that not as a strength of weakness, as a show of weakness, but as a show of strength. Because he expressed his grievance, but he didn't feel the need to escalate. Ultimately, his response was that of a Gandhi-like figure, someone who chose peace.
So was it a general grievance?
No, it was a very specific grievance. You actually touched on something, because the original cut of Revenge of the Sith was long, and one of the things that we had to cut, unfortunately, was there was General Grievous, and there was Specific Grievous. That's his brother. He's not in the military, but he was much more like you knew what was wrong with him and why.
He'd really drill in.
really and that was the thing is it was a much more detailed characterization, and that eats up screen time. The more you find out about him, the more you realize he's just moving forward the plot. He's not even part of the Imperial military. You understand?
I do.
You know a lot about that.
Well, I made the movie.
Okay.
What does it feel like to be up in space? You did a lot of things in space in trilogies. You would go on you went on three missions to space, right?
Yeah.
And then on some of those missions, you go on 3 spacewalks.
On each mission, I did 3 spacewalks.
Is the 3 your choice, or does someone else make that choice for you? Those are trilogies.
It depends.
All right.
Mostly it's someone else's.
So
choice.
someone else is designing, is executive producing essentially your space adventures.
Mission director?
Kind of.
Yeah. Who's the person who makes the call?
Which call?
Hey, one more time around. Make it 3 for good luck. Who's making those kinds of
Who
calls?
says, no, you can't go out again, you did 3, or
We're
go
not-
out one more time?
Or says you gotta go out.
You're not going to get a 4th one. You had your 3. No more spacewalks
It's a different,
for you.
a lot of stories here. Somebody decides, and fate has a lot to do with it.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
The duel of the fates.
So, for example, I was supposed to do 4 spacewalks on my last mission, which would have catapulted me as the astronaut in the United States with the most time outside in a spacesuit.
Oh, wow.
But what happened? Well, the first thing that happened was they were trying to launch a ship from, where were we? Japan, and there was a boat out in the water that caused the launch to be delayed. We were waiting for space hardware to come up in space. And then there was another problem that happened. So by the time they finally launched the spacecraft with all the equipment we needed to do the last spacewalk, it was too late to execute the spacewalk. So it's all, things
boat
happen.
stuff, that's got to be very bittersweet for someone who's also an aquanaut.
Yeah, like some guys driving a boat.
Because you're like, I'm part of the problem.
Yeah.
That's why you can't have one foot in every area.
I tried to use the space laser from ISS, but I was on the wrong side of the planet to get the boat.
Is that a true sentence you just said to me?
I don't know. I
You
can
tried to
neither
use the
confirm
space
nor
laser?
deny.
Is that a true?
You heard of Star Wars?
I heard of it. Yeah, I
No,
wrote
like
it.
this program that Reagan
Yeah,
had.
yeah,
The other Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the strategic.
The real one.
No. All right. We said we weren't going to get political. The strategic defense. What is it? This strategic defense
initiative.
I don't know what any of the acronyms mean.
First of all, they never really built it. It never worked.
How do you know?
I
just
I mean,
talked about it.
Yeah, but you know that I made Star Wars because we all saw it. And then
You had
called it
lasers.
Star Wars.
I have a theory about
Yeah, I want to hear your theory.
science and fiction.
Yeah, what is it?
Because, if you separate those words, they're 2 different things, right? Science and fiction.
Yeah.
That all the great people who make movies, like yourself, and can dream up amazing, scenarios for life or in general sciencey things.
Yeah.
All those same designers and creative people work as engineers and actual designers who build things. So eventually, all the things we make up in our minds in the movies
Come true.
Make up for real.
Well, yeah, because I've got people making models and making things that didn't exist and make them look real, and it's just a matter of time.
And a lot of those are real now.
Yeah. Eventually, we'll be able to build something that will blow up a planet.
Yeah. We already have built that, actually.
No, but we haven't blown up a whole planet and watched.
Oh, like a laser thing?
Yeah. But we will.
Well, I told you I couldn't get it to work, so
Right.
it's
Do
not
you-
working yet.
Do you have a least favorite planet?
No.
Okay. I don't know. I'm just.
It's not cool.
I know we said
Why
we
would you
weren't.
say that?
Because Drew
It's a
doesn't.
talk show. I'm asking questions.
Drew does not like picking like a favorite thing.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't. He picked all of the space movies when we asked him what his favorite
Yeah.
space movie was. He literally said all of them. That includes some terrible films.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Who has seen the movie Slingshot? It's brand new.
I know about it. I haven't
Anybody
seen it yet.
clapping?
I heard one
hands?
clap.
Anybody seen Slingshot? No?
No.
Really?
Are you? And
I
have
just
you
saw
two
it.
seen it?
I have not seen
I
it.
saw it yesterday on an airplane.
What'd you think?
Nobody's seen it.
No, I know what it is. It's
This is the
Casey Affleck is in it.
Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne movie.
Yeah, Fishburne. Yeah.
Okay, is it good?
Well, I can't tell you now. Nobody's seen it.
It's not a
so-
spoiler to say you like it.
It's okay.
Oh,
That's
I
what
did
critics
like it.
do.
I did
You
like
can join
it,
us
but,
as a
but
critic
the
and tell
ending
us.
is.
Well, now you went from not wanting to spoil it to wanting to tell us the ending.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything else.
The ending is good. You liked it, or the ending left you asking questions.
I can neither confirm nor deny whether I like the ending or not.
Did it feel like 2001: A Space Odyssey when you were in space?
Sometimes.
What? Like, give me an example when it
Were
felt.
you there at all in space in the year 2001?
No.
No.
But I was an astronaut then.
You were, but
Yes.
but we're grounded at that moment.
I had not flown in space yet.
You first went up, what, 2002, 2003?
2009.
2009. All right, first time
Well,
Obama.
a lot happened during the early 2000s with the space program,
Yeah.
sadly.
When you were in space, did you quote any space movies? Like, did you say, like, hey, look, it's 2009, another Space Odyssey?
So in 2009, there was a Star Trek movie that came out. And
It's one of the JJ ones?
we saw it first in space before anybody on
Whoa.
Earth.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So
wow.
they screened it for you in space.
That's so
Well, like
cool.
we screened it for ourselves.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Sure.
They couldn't go up
Yeah,
there.
they
and do
sent
it.
it to us. We watched it before it was released.
What'd you think?
I loved it. It's a space movie. I love all space movies.
Yeah.
You already knew the answer.
Yeah, but I love to
Okay.
hear it. I love to hear your
Okay.
enthusiasm
All right.
for it.
No, it was great. And you know what? We had it on the big screen. So we had
How big is the screen in there?
well, we had 2 laptops. And we opened both of them. And we put them side by side.
Holy moly.
And then we hit play at the same time. And so we had the big screen. We had a big screen viewing of
So you watch a double image, or you
6 people watching 2 screens with the movie playing at exactly the same time. But
What's-
only one of them had the sound on.
Oh, I was
you
gonna
can't-
ask,
what if
'cause it's
you-
gonna-
If
it's
you don't
gonna-
sync it, then it.
right?
So if they cross their eyes, would it be 3D?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like stereo view. But it
Alan, did
wasn't.
you like the JJ Star Trek movies?
I like the first one.
All right.
Yeah.
And then they lost you.
Yeah, Into Darkness
Yeah.
was awful.
Why?
Because Benedict
okay.
Cumberbatch is not Khan. That's Ricardo Montalban.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, but you know it's made up, right? You know that it's made up. It's not true.
Yeah.
Like that's not fraud. They can cast him, right?
Well, I mean, it didn't
Oh,
work
you're
for
one
me.
of those. You're one of those Han shot first guys.
I certainly am. He did
That-
shoot first. He did not shoot first. He was the only one who shot. Thank you very much.
McClunky.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, because you're talking about a rough draft. You're digging through the garbage. You're digging through. You got a garbage Blu-ray, and you're digging through the garbage. I bet you got despecialized editions on your hard drives at home.
No, I got him right here, actually.
Yeah. What? That's you. Was that a gift?
That one is also
No, this one I did buy.
You bought that one. I
sure
I
did.
know the website you bought that from.
I can neither confirm or deny.
I know exactly where you
Good
bought
answer.
that from.
Yeah, he bought that from silkroad.com. Contraband.
Oh my.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Wow, John Dillinger coming on stage confessing to his crimes.
So about space movies.
Yeah.
What about Queen of Outer Space with Zsa Zsa Gabor? You ever see that one?
I don't know.
Which one?
Should I say no? I don't.
Queen
maybe
of Outer
maybe.
Space.
What about the?
Yeah, wait. I have seen
With
that.
Zsa
when
Zsa
I was
Gabor.
like 12 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would that be the right age?
You like that one, Joe?
Oh yeah, I like Zsa Zsa Gabor from back in the day.
Yeah.
probably-
She's good.
Do you ever see Galaxina with Dorothy Stratton and Avery Schreiber?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that played cable quite a bit.
Yeah,
in my youth.
absolutely. That's a fun space movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard sci-fi.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, you I've seen a video of you also talking to Harrison,
Yes.
and you spoke to him when the special edition was
Sorry,
coming out.
wait, Harrison who?
Oh, Ellen Shaw, the matte painter. No, Ford. Come on.
Oh, I wasn't aware that Patrick was on first name
Yeah, we're
basis.
buds. We're buds.
With Harrison Ford.
Moved to LA.
Remind me of the times you've worked with him.
Moved to LA. This is what happens.
Harry Ford over here.
Yeah.
Fucking beach chums with Harry Ford. Joe, I heard you got to interview Mr. Harrison Ford.
I have talked to the gentleman, yes. And in fact, if you go on, you have nothing better to do. And I mean nothing, like you're in bed with the measles or something. Go to YouTube and put, Joe Leydon, Harrison Ford. And there it is.
You talked to him when the special editions were out.
He was promoting The Devil's Own, right?
Well, the first time was for, I'm having a senior...
Presumed Innocent?
Air Force One.
The movie, it was a remake of the Audrey Hepburn movie.
Sabrina.
Sabrina.
And he, at that time, when I talked to him, had grown a mustache because he was going to have a mustache in The Devil's Own.
Yeah.
And then they decided he shouldn't have a mustache. So you've seen that.
They were scared.
Yeah. So I have these two interviews on YouTube. One where he's got the mustache talking about he's going to wear it in his next movie.
Yeah.
And then when I talked to him about that next movie, he didn't have the mustache.
They should have made a movie called The Devil's Mustache starring Harrison Ford.
That would have been,
That would have been a hit. Big hit. Who wouldn't go see 1990s era Harrison Ford? His face is on the poster. He's got a full stash, and the title is The Devil's Mustache.
And the mustache is red, and it's got really pointy tips. It's on
right.
fire.
And and the plot can be simple. It just is a thing where somehow he stole the devil's mustache. And it's kind of ruining his life.
People on the street keep going, "Hey man, nice stash." He goes, "It's not mine.
It's not mine. It belongs to the devil.
I stole it from Satan."
But you have a
That's
nice,
really good.
Wait,
actually.
he stole it?
Yeah.
you have a nice rapport with Harrison.
We do.
Because he can be grumpy.
I have been told that.
Yeah, but he doesn't get grumpy with you, I don't think.
No, I mean, I hear a lot of things about people who are supposed to be difficult to interview. And, Tommy Lee Jones. And,
Cranky. He can be cranky.
you don't have any trouble with him.
Two-faced, I've heard.
Mickey Rourke,
Yeah?
Now, I ask respectful questions, that may have something to do with it.
Right.
Or the fact that, they can always see that I'm packing heat. And so...
That's right.
just do a little...
Are you carrying right now?
You can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, boy. All right. Duly noted. This is a children's toy. Please don't draw on me.
What was your Mickey Rourke experience?
He was making a movie called Homeboy.
Oh, yes.
And I had I'd seen, Barfly about 150 times, and he knew much I loved that movie. And it was really funny because he was, in his trailer, and he wanted to make sure that his people were around because, apparently he'd been screwed over by interviewers before, And after about 10 minutes, he said, okay, you guys can go. It's like he trusted me. I don't know. Or maybe he took a look at me and said, if he gets out of line, I can, slap the taste out of his mouth. So.
He didn't know you were packing heat.
Well, no, I don't think it would have bothered him, to be honest with you. Yeah. I mean, he was probably packing heat too.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's an intense movie. I just realized I've been mispronouncing the title. I thought it was Barfly. Which I think is a more fun... that's my only note for that movie. If you haven't seen it, it's the Bukowski. It's about Tim and Faye Dunaway.
Yes.
Yeah, and I thought his character's name was the nickname was Barfly, which is a fun nickname for someone who struggles with alcoholism.
Barkeep, I want some drinks
Okay,
for
Barfly.
all my friends.
Okay, Barfly. Yeah. Let's talk about the future of film, the future of cinema.
Okay.
Where are we at? A lot of people are saying doom and gloom. A lot of people are optimistic because Wicked is happening, which is a very successful sequel to a film that a friend of mine directed called Return to Oz.
Yeah, that's right.
Walter Murch, my buddy Walter Murch.
Yep.
It's a prequel, though, George.
Yeah, that's a prequel.
Yeah.
And
Return to Oz is a prequel to Wicked.
No, I'm saying Wicked is a prequel to Return to Oz.
it's a side
side
pull.
pull?
Yeah, because it's sort of an alternate world.
Flash sideways, yeah.
But there was a period where Disney and you can see if you haven't seen who here has seen Return to Oz?
creepy.
It's a truly horrifying film. They fired my buddy Walter off the movie, and that's when Francis and Steve, my buddy Steve and I, we went to Disney and we said, listen, you can't do this. Walter's great. You got to let him finish his movie. And I volunteered. I said, listen, if he goes over budget, if he violates any of the norms or whatever, I'll step in, and then you'll have an Oz movie directed by George Lucas, and they liked the sound of that. But it never came to that because he finished on time. So
Finished in the blink of an eye.
that's right.
One person liked that a lot. And that's what matters.
But now, that's another example of how, like, you'll sometimes, there are times when, everyone's like, oh no, like this Marvel movie didn't do very well at the box office. They shouldn't have made it about a duck. And everyone looks around and says, George, you made a big mistake. There's just no appetite for Marvel movies. And you say, okay, let's just take the long view.
You could say you were ahead of your time.
I am saying that.
Yeah.
Not I could. I'm actually in the middle of saying it. I said, let's hold off a little bit because I think this movie could be the spark that ignites a firestorm of cinematic content. And those were my words. A firestorm of cinematic content. And it happened. And now the same thing's happening with Wicked, which is that Return to Oz, a movie that I got thanks in, just like Megalopolis, which I think that what I choose to believe is that there will be a Megalopolis sidequel decades from now that will break box office records. Megalopolis. Maybe, yeah. Probably get Cameron on that. Get Jim Cameron. He loves the water. You ever encountered my buddy Jim Cameron?
Yes.
I don't know him that well. You've encountered him.
Jimmy, yeah.
Jimmy.
Now, I was on the set of The Terminator.
Whoa.
And not only on the set, but I was there the night they shot the Tech Noir scene in, where they're shooting everything. And they say, okay, now go behind this glass thing here, And I say, why? These are blanks. No. Go behind, the glass. And to give you some idea of how low budget a movie this was.
Yeah.
I was out in Los Angeles to cover the Oscars. And the guy who was doing unit publicist for Terminator got a hold of me and said, we'd like you to come on the set. Because we got this guy, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's an up-and-coming, guy. And I said, well, okay, well, tell me where it is, and I'll drive down there. And I could hear this pause on the other end of the line. It's like the guy was, no, Joe, we'll send somebody to pick you up and bring you here. We don't want you parking down the street from here.
They said all this?
Yes.
Why? Are you bad at parking? Like your representation procedure, like this guy's going to take up 3 spots.
I couldn't have run past a mugger. But no, this was,
So they wanted to,
they
Jimmy is a controlling dude. He likes control. They'll park where I want them to park.
Yep. Well, it would have been bad publicity.
Yeah. So you were there, you saw him pretending and filming it, which is what movie making is.
What do you mean pretending?
What?
Pretending?
Yeah.
Who was pretending?
The actors and all the people, everyone.
Come on.
Do you know about Terminators that are on like the space station or something that you're not telling us about?
Well, I just pretending. I don't know.
Yeah, it's storytelling.
By the way, I love all the Terminator movies.
Right?
Every single one.
You like the one where he takes the woman's head and puts it in the toilet?
Not that part.
Yeah.
Not that part.
I knew it. See, you claim to like everything, but you're a nice guy. And nice guys don't like that part.
Yeah, but they're great movies. Yeah.
I mean, I understand he's a robot and she's a robot, and like robots are gonna robot.
Yeah. They don't.
But I don't like that.
They don't drown.
I don't like
Can
that.
they drown? I guess they can't.
No, he didn't drown, which
He's
just
just
made
like
it
he's like
mean-spirited.
swirly.
It's about the
swirly,
humiliation.
like,
It's just like, come on, Terminator, don't do that.
Gonna give you a swirly.
Yeah.
Bad Terminator.
Bad Terminator. You're bad. Sometimes the Terminators are good.
Arnold was.
Yeah, they learned
turned
how
out
to
be
cry.
pretty good. Yeah. He cared.
I like that.
He
I like
cared
that
at
when
the
he
end.
learned how to cry.
What's your
Now
favorite
I know what
Terminator?
it is to cry.
Yeah, to clarify, he
Terminator?
didn't
first one. The
learn
first one.
how to cry. He learned to understand why one would cry.
Now I know what it is to cry.
No, I think he says, now I understand why you cry, right?
Why you cry?
Right. He never
Now I
learns how to
understand
cry.
why you cry.
Yeah. He never cries.
Yeah.
Do you know Hans and Franz?
Yeah.
You sound a little bit like them now.
Yeah. I know Lauren and all the SNL gang. I've been to the parties.
You were at SNL 40.
I was at SNL 40. People would come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm on SNL." I'd be like, "Yeah, big deal. Everyone's on SNL."
Are you going to SNL 50, George? We haven't talked about this.
Yeah, I might go to SNL 50.
It's at Radio City.
Yeah, the 50th city.
Because it's not until February,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So George 80 will be over by the time SNL 50 starts.
No, not it. We're still in the 80, aren't we?
When do you turn 81?
In May.
Oh.
So I might be 80 at the 50 at Radio City. George might be 80 at the 50 at Radio City. Someone sample that, put it in a club mix.
The club.
At the club.
Drew, what is something about going to space that people might not expect? Like, was there anything surprising to you when you were growing up?
And same question also for the ocean.
That's true, yeah. And same question about writing film criticism or reviews.
I don't think they compare.
Just think about it. Just
Yeah, be ready.
I only have serious answers.
I want
That's
a
what we
serious answer.
want.
Yeah.
This isn't just a jokey show.
Well,
We want
okay,
heartfelt,
it's not
serious
really.
answers.
What most people might not expect is how fast humans adapt to microgravity, floating.
How
Yes.
long did it feel like it took you until you had acclimated? Or at least...
The first time,
Yeah.
about a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, how much were you... They did it on the ground, too. They would, like, simulate it on the ground at all? Or it was...
How's that?
I don't know. Did they simulate it for you while you were training?
What?
I don't know what I'm
Were you
asking.
ever in that jet that goes up in the and they does that dive, that hyperbolic dive?
comet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the bomb comet.
Yeah, but I have to imagine that stuff helps, like, train you, but it doesn't really come close to the real experience.
That's true. It doesn't come close to the real experience, but it is the same thing. When an airplane dives towards the Earth at the right velocity and you're falling inside of the airplane, it's just like falling around the planet, which is what you do as astronauts right now in low Earth orbit. We just fall around the planet. We're always falling. You're not floating, you're just falling around.
You mean like in
But
the
you're going so
Vomit
fast.
Comet?
The Vomit Comet is the same. It
Yeah.
basically falls to Earth. It's like if you got in an elevator and then cut the cable, which
Yeah.
would have a bad ending. But that part in the middle where you're falling, that would be like microgravity.
But that's the other thing. Like, all those experiences are short-term, right?
Those are short term.
Right, you're talking about entering a state that becomes your new normal while you're up there.
Your life.
Right, like
Yes.
beyond the physical adaptation, mentally you feel like you very quickly just adjust to this is what it is now.
Yes.
How is
The
it
human
to
body
sleep?
adapts quickly.
How is it to sleep in space?
Not so good.
Yeah.
It depends. Comes and goes. Good sleep
Okay.
and bad sleep.
Here's a serious question, and I know we said we were going to try to avoid politics.
You have a thing hanging off your.
It's
is
my
that your
nose.
nose.
It's
okay.
the way he rendered.
Go ahead
me.
with your serious question.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to.
We said we were going to avoid
Okay,
politics. Michelle
And
Obama
wings.
famously said,
Things.
when they go low, we go high. As both an astronaut and an aquanaut, does that feel like a conflict of interest for you? Do you not like the way she's posing this as a versus? Because
Yeah.
you do both. You go high and low.
I've done both. Yeah.
And this is a serious question.
I don't actually know how to answer you.
All right,
don't know.
I'll reframe it slightly and see if it's
Okay.
easier to answer.
Yeah.
Space is pretty dry, right?
Like humidity,
Did you find it to be dry up there?
it is dry in space.
Now, the
we have
ocean-
good humidity separators.
The ocean, and again, I haven't been to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Notoriously wet. Like
Can be.
like
The
as
wettest
as
place.
wet as it gets.
Yeah.
What's your perception of what an aquanaut does?
Go down into the ocean.
And just
Explore.
is there
Has adventures.
with like a wetsuit or something?
Well, the suit's
whole
not,
time?
It's not a dry suit. Do you go under with like a water repelling suit that creates a dry force
bubble?
field around you, or is that suit soaking wet? Like even if it's metal, there'll be a few seconds before it all drops off. I doubt you're wearing something that's absorbent.
All of that's possible, except in our scenario, we go to a place, a habitat under the ocean, and go inside of it
where you're
where
dry.
It is dry.
But outside could
Very
be wetter.
wet. Very wet.
Outside of but so you're in a safe space at the bottom of the ocean.
Until you go outside to use the bathroom.
Wait, you're pooping and peeing at the bottom of the ocean?
Seafood. Humans sometimes visit the ocean seafloor and the bathroom's outside.
Right. Is this true?
Yeah.
Really? They haven't figured out how to put a toilet in there?
Well, they have now, but for about a decade, no. Maybe longer.
So how? Oh my God!
How's
So
this
many
work?
questions now.
So like, would you go
Imagine.
out? Here's
You have two
how I
hands,
imagine
right?
it.
You have two hands.
yeah.
Yes. Unless you're Dexter
One's
Jettster.
for
He has.
one's for blocking. The other is for distracting.
Right. So it's offense and defense.
Exactly.
So wait, what do? You mean you take? Are you wearing a two-piece?
Use your imagination.
But I can't.
No.
Okay,
It's exactly what you think.
This is a very serious question. But if you have to go number 2 underwater,
Yes.
do you laminate the newspaper? How do you read it down there?
Not required.
I mean, this is agree to disagree.
Normally,
right.
people don't hear these stories. Maybe I shouldn't tell them.
No, this is insane.
You'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's
garden
in the shade.
I have a question
the
for
whole
you.
time.
Do you ever run into flat earthers, and if you've done that, and what do you do when people come like that to you?
I typically smile and walk away.
I think that's
because
probably
it's
the right
not
way.
worth taking the time to
Good move.
Yeah.
have
Right.
that discussion.
Right. Well, let's have that discussion right now.
Let's have it.
Let's take the time. All right. Well, now our film critics have had time to ruminate on the question that was posed a few minutes ago, which was same question but for film.
What's the what's the something that people don't think about when they think about
The
being
way
a film
that you,
critic?
because the way that you, as professionals, experience cinema. Like for some people, movies are just a fun distraction. But when you see a movie as a professional, you go in with a certain expectation, right? You're going to have a forward-facing opinion off.
It's
it.
hard work. It's like going poop at the bottom of the ocean.
Exactly. I'm not the best critic to ask about that because people tend to think that I like everything. I have a phrase I tell people when I'm watching a movie. It's like it's not a window, it's a door, and I'm like in it, and I experience the movie kind of like firsthand. It feels like in a lot of films, like your films especially.
Oh, thank you.
As you could tell. But I mean, for me, film criticism, I feel like I'm more of a film advocate. I'd rather talk about the things I love than the things that I don't like.
Right. So we'll talk about like the prequels, but not like a movie that you didn't like.
I actually like the prequels.
Yeah,
so
that's what I know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. They're great. Do you like Red Tails? Do you like Radioland Murders?
I do like Radioland Murders.
Good.
Brian Ben, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian
And
Ben
Brian's
Ben.
so nice, they bend him twice.
That's right. I unfortunately have not seen Red Tails.
All right. Well, no, don't say unfortunately, because that means you can look to the future in which you have that to look forward to. I envy
I
you.
do.
The door you've yet to open.
That's
They have
exactly
a
right.
used copy on Blu-ray at, what was the name of the music store we went to today?
Cactus Music.
Cactus
Oh
Music.
wow! Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a used copy on Bluray. You can go pick it up there.
My wife and I
Cactus is
just
great.
saw the new Tyler Perry, well, a film that Tyler Perry co-wrote, co-directed.
Yeah.
Which is about it's a Netflix film, but they sometimes will show those streaming films. Will get like a couple of theatrical screenings. It's Kerry Washington is very good. What's it? It's called the 6850. What's it called? 638.
We didn't see it. You're the one that went to see it.
You saw it
Yeah.
last night.
You saw it last night with
let's
Melody.
look. Melody posted a photo of you guys there.
What? She's always posting.
Oh, you didn't know that? It's
Not
called
me.
The 6888, a film by Tyler Perry.
The 6888.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that there's 3 8s because that's a trilogy. But it's sort of like another. It's basically about how there was all this mail that had to be delivered during World War II, and the soldiers weren't getting their messages, and it led to morale problems, and these women figured out how to deliver the mail in a state of crisis. So it's kind of in some ways I was like, oh, we're in the Red Tails cinematic universe in a way.
Exactly.
That sounds like an episode of Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Oh, it does.
Alan, Joe, did either of you see and or review Strange Magic?
No.
No.
My final film in
His
cinema.
final theatrical film.
The animated film, right?
Yes. It's on Disney Plus. Do you have Disney Plus?
I do.
You do?
I do.
And you know,
Should we watch it?
yeah.
Drew just really wants to watch something here.
Drew, you just came to the movie theater and you're just like, are they going to show a movie to me?
I thought they were going to play Wicked tonight, but
They were playing Wicked before the show, and I'm sure they'll play it again when the show
stay after the show.
Yeah.
Can we watch Wicked here?
You haven't seen Wicked yet?
No. It
Oh,
just
you're gonna
came out.
You're gonna like it.
Not love.
You're gonna love it.
Okay.
Well, you see, like love, it's but
There's a
I think
difference.
there is a difference, but like there's magic in the film, and there's flying around.
Well, there's also a hot air balloon. Do you like hot air balloons?
Not so much.
Not as much as
Why
a
not?
spaceship. Why not?
Because I think we rode in once. My wife's out there somewhere, didn't we? We landed
You
in
would
a lake.
know. Okay.
Yeah, so that wasn't as
So you're
fun.
like sort of
It's
like,
just like,
a
why are
weird
we landing-
compromise
Yeah.
of the two things you
Should
do
we
in a
be
very
in the lake right now? It doesn't seem like there's like flotation devices on this.
right.
We could sink.
Wow.
To a hot air balloon when I was in Krakow years ago. And
It sounds very dangerous, actually.
well,
Yeah.
actually, and the guy, I don't know, he ran out of gas or air or whatever, and so we had to make an unannounced landing in a field where cows were grazing. So I got out of the basket and I said, "Hello, I'm from Texas where we worship cows," and the cow wasn't impressed.
He didn't.
We have cows on Skywalker Ranch.
I've been there.
You
You
have?
weren't there that day.
No, I'm not there every day. I got stuff to do.
Yeah, I was.
Do you have
I was
the
on a junket for Cars 2, and met your friend Ben Burt there.
I love cars. I love Ben Burt.
Yep, he was great. But I guess you knew I was coming, and you know.
No, that's not. Don't say that.
What was your experience? Did they feed you? Did they show you around?
Did you have the chili?
I didn't know they had chili.
Is it from the cows?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Yes, it is.
It was nice. I went to the Lake Ewok and saw the Yoda statue, and I went to the gift shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
What'd you buy anything?
I sure did. I bought a Star Wars shirt. I have about a billion of them. So
You should have wore all of
Not
them.
the one you're
Alan.
wearing.
no, this one
Not
is
the
a
Star
Roosevelt's shirt. It's the button down.
Oh yeah,
always thought-
Roosevelt's.
yeah.
They do a lot of licensed
Yeah.
shirts. They're legal. They're legally licensed.
legal.
It's not
Yeah.
like
I
this
actually-
criminal trash that you traffic in.
I actually did. Yeah, I bought this off the website, and it was a legit purchase. Unlike, I did not buy that. That was given to me. So
I don't care that your friends are criminals and you accept gifts from them. All right, you're complicit. I worked second unit on a film that my buddy Francis did called The Godfather.
yeah.
I did the second unit, and one of the lessons of that film is that like, if you're complicit in these crimes, like, don't think that you're not a part of this. Do not think that just because you can somehow rationalize your relationship to these cartels that are causing so much damage, you're a part of that.
See, you thought you were out of him making fun of you for stealing all his work, but then we pulled you back in.
Yeah,
You know?
pulled me back in.
Yeah.
George didn't work on that one.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
George,
Yeah,
I'd like to ask you something.
I love it.
What age were your kids when they asked you what it is exactly you do for a living? And how did you explain it to them?
Oh, I said I'm a storyteller, but I wasn't hiding what I did from them.
no,
You know,
no, but I
like,
mean-
because I have things that are appropriate for all ages. So there are different ages where like the Star Wars movies are for kids, but they're not for very young kids. But young kids can watch the Ewoks cartoon episodes. They can watch the there are Strange Magic.
Strange Magic is for girls.
For girls.
Yeah.
And
Same thing that George
Star Wars is
said.
for boys, and Strange Magic is for girls.
What about you? How old were your kids when you had to? I'm assuming you have some children. Somewhere.
We do have 2 children.
Okay.
Yep. They're adults now.
Okay, how did you, after all that kissing, yeah.
Yeah,
But-
we like to kiss.
Yeah.
I love the kids.
what I heard.
How did
love
you
the kids.
explain to your children what it
did-
is you do for a living?
I didn't have to. My kids were quite young. They were 4 and how old, honey? 4 and 6. 4 and 6 when I was selected as an astronaut. So they grew up in the world of space.
Yeah. So they know Daddy works up there.
Yeah, I guess
Daddy works right down there.
down there in
sometimes.
the under the ocean.
Yeah.
So they were. That was their life.
What, I mean, how do you explain? Do you have children?
I've got a son I'm very proud of, and
How did you explain to him that what you do, criticizing films?
Well, one night he had to be about 6 years old, and I was tucking him in, and I think he had like an epiphany. He said, "Dad, yes, George, you get paid to go to the movies." And I said, "That's right, son. That is why my father came over here from Ireland to the land of opportunity so he could get a scam like this going. And this is what I would recommend to you, son. You find something you love doing and figure out a way to make a buck at it, and you'll be very happy."
Now, you're both members of the Houston Film Critics Society, yeah?
Correct.
You guys talk about me there?
I'm sorry?
Do you guys talk about me there, like when you meet or when you, like, I don't know what you do, like when you, does my name come up a lot, or is it?
Well, you haven't made a lot of movies lately.
Yeah,
so,
lately
you know,
you haven't really been part of the
Well, do you
conversation.
talk, okay, do you talk about Citizen Kane ever, or Alfred Hitchcock? Do they ever
Well,
come up? Because they're dead. Like
we
Orson
talk
Welles
about
is,
films that are
Orson
normally-
Welles is dead. Alfred Hitchcock is dead, and I bet their names come up all the time.
We mostly talk about the current stuff.
Okay.
Or, like Film Critic Society meetings, we're always talking about the bylaws or something. Yeah.
Right. I'm
Look,
just.
there's some people in our organization, I don't think they've ever seen Citizen.
There are some that probably have not.
You know, they joined the organization so they could get paid to go to the
Right.
movies.
They
Yeah,
think,
see-
they think an old movie is like Rushmore,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Which was
Where, like,
filmed here.
An
It's here.
ancient movie.
Yeah, filmed here.
So
St. John's
you're saying
School,
like
John's
I'm
School.
not getting talked about.
Not so much. Most of the discussion is about,
What, Anora?
well, that's a really good movie.
It is. It's really good. I imagine that's new. People are talking about it.
Yeah, I mean.
They talk about Megalopolis.
Well, I'm not talking about it, but
Why not?
It wasn't around very long, so
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
It's
It
a-
shows-
it's a-
but
yeah.
I'll tell you what, Megalopolis is going to be playing in cinemas for the next 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
There will always be a theater in America where you can find a screening of Megalopolis. That movie is not going anywhere. It's one of those things that's going to stick around. You will not be able to find a theatrical screening of Deadpool and Wolverine or Inside Out 2 5 years from now. You will be able to find a movie theater that is showing Megalopolis.
Can you guys just
I,
do
I,
us
I
a
think that's true, actually. I do
Can
think
you
that's
just
true.
do us a favor at the next meeting? The time when you're all together. Can you just say, "Hey guys, can we just take a few minutes to talk about George Lucas? We saw him a few weeks ago.
Absolutely.
He asked if we could talk about him at the next meeting."
Or just talk about, hey, did you see that Georgia Melody got thanked in Megalopolis? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Like, because that is, like, I didn't make Megalopolis, but I got thanked in it.
Yeah.
And presumably that when a movie thanks people, that means something. Like, think about, for an average person, the number of times you've been thanked by a movie, where the movie says thank you at the end, rarely happens. Like, even to me, and I'm an important figure in the history of movies. It's very rare that I actually get a thank you.
I'm thanking movies all the time, and they never thank me back.
Yeah.
I have a
want-
question for
yeah.
you. Have you seen the adaptation of the little kids doing Raiders of the Lost Ark that took them like 7 years to film?
You're in that documentary, right?
am, yeah, that's
Yes,
correct.
I love that documentary, Raiders.
What did you think of that when you finally saw it?
Loved it. I loved it. It's great. It's such a great tribute. It's inspiring to see how they were able to do it, and also the way that it's. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's and they were going to make a movie about that, and it never
Yeah.
actually happened. I was very disappointed because that felt like it would have been a really fun thing to see
For
But
kids
no,
too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because.
Explain what it is,
Yeah,
George.
basically, these kids loved Raiders of the Lost Ark so much that they started remaking it shot by shot, and they didn't really have a lot of resources.
It like wasn't on VHS at the time, so they would have to go to the movies like 40 times and like draw storyboards of like how they would do it and then like audio record it just
And
so they could write down the script as they remembered it.
It took them so many years to make this movie that the continuity of it will go from them being younger to older from one shot to the next, because they really were just trying to finish the movie. Normally when you make a movie, the reason that typically, unless you're making a movie like Boyhood where the passage of time is a part of the process, normally the reason you try to do it on a short schedule is so that everyone in the movie won't age and that you won't be watching a movie where it's insane that people go from old to young to old. These children had no choice. They had to make a movie the way that no movie wants to make. No movie wants to be made that way, except for Boyhood and maybe that new Merrily We Roll Along adaptation where they want time to actually pass.
Yeah, that Linklater's doing, yeah.
So, yeah, it was extremely inspiring. Now, I believe... now, there was a documentary called The People versus George Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in that documentary.
Why?
Well, there was a period. Now, people have always gotten mad at Star Wars. There's a certain kind of person who gets mad at Star Wars, a thing that has only brought pleasure to them in most cases. And then when it stops being pleasurable to them, they get very angry because they think it's not enough for me to love 3 movies or 6 movies. I have to love 7 movies or 8 movies or 9 movies. And if I don't like those movies, I throw a temper tantrum. And
I don't know why you're looking at me when you say
no.
that.
But we all know this. There are a lot of, like, I know that adult babies is a fetish. There's a fetish where people, that's different. There's an adult baby fetish where adults, usually men, will wear a diaper and they'll be treated like a baby, and they'll nurse and they'll have their dirty diaper changed. This is just true. I hate to bring it up. I just want to be clear. When I talk about the adult babies,
You shouldn't admit to
who
knowing
throw
about this.
what?
Don't admit to knowing about this in public.
I'm not an adult baby. I'm just an adult.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Look, the more you know, right? With the shooting star.
Shooting star.
You know about this.
It's better to know. Knowledge is power. What I refer to, and maybe there's the Venn diagram of adult babies who get pleasure from being treated like a baby, and people who are grown adults who throw temper tantrums because they don't like all of the Star Wars content.
So they made a movie, a documentary.
But there was a period where the tantrums were about me.
Yeah.
Where I made some Star Wars movies.
People versus
you.
George Lucas. It's a
How did it
documentary
make-
about all the bad things I did.
How did it make you
you
feel?
raped their childhood.
Oh, that's the
I
word.
swear to God.
Yeah, they weaponized the term of criminal sexual assault and said that I metaphorically did it because I made 3 movies. Because the thing is, they didn't get mad about the Ewok movies in the 80s, and those are for children. Excellent movies if you haven't seen them. They were theatrically released in Europe, and they're available on Disney+.
Wilford Brimley puts a stick in a pond.
Yeah.
That phrase, raped my childhood, probably came from the website I used to write for. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they were also been popularized by the South Park episode that was talking about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're in this documentary.
They were singing it in the documentary, a bunch of people.
They were singing that phrase.
George Lucas.
Let's not
raped
sing
my
that
childhood.
phrase. There are so many songs. Whatever happened to Cole Porter?
But they asked me, why do you think people are turning on,
George.
And I said, it's so weird. It's like you listen to some of these people and they think George Lucas is the Antichrist. Okay. They come out with the trailer for the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't have to tell you what line of mine got quoted in the trailer, right? George Lucas is the Antichrist.
My pal Marty.
Wait. Put that in context now for us.
I said,
Why did you say it?
I said.
Where was the rest of the sentence?
The rest of the sentence was, there are people out there who, love the first 3 movies, and then everything that came out, George Lucas effed, my childhood. And I said, and, they act like George Lucas is the Antichrist.
So you were quoting other people say this, but then the trailer makes it look like you're saying this.
Go to YouTube, look for the trailer for the George Lucas.
People versus George Lucas.
And
or watch anything you want. Like, we're not here to tell you how to live your life.
We're going to be giving out a piece of paper to
It
all
has the
of you.
hyperlink with all the numbers and letters at the end of it that'll take you to the exact video. But first of all, I'm not, and you know this. You know I'm not the Antichrist. We all know I'm not the Antichrist, right?
Yeah, right.
My pal Marty made a movie about Christ. I thought it was really good. It was called The Last Temptation of Christ.
You were not anti at all when you
no.
saw that movie.
I
You
liked
said
it.
pro.
I own that movie on Blu-ray.
Criterion?
Criterion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. But people they were mad at me, and now they're not mad at me. But if I started making Star Wars movies again, they would get mad at me so fast.
But many of those people now are angry that you are not allowed to make Star Wars movies.
And if the movies I wanted to make,
Yes.
like they got very mad that they made a movie about Han Solo and Luke, and all the characters that they love show up in those movies.
Yeah.
And they got very mad because it wasn't what they wanted. I wanted those movies to be about microbiotic, little things that you can't see. They're so small, called the Wills, WHILLS, and how they control everything in the universe. And it was going to be all exist on this like smaller plane of reality within the Star Wars world. I don't think those boys, and let's be honest, they are not men, they are boys, regardless of their age. I don't think they were really jonesing to see the Wills have 3 more adventures together. I don't think any of those guys wanted to see some Will movies.
I would have.
You would have liked the Wills.
Sure. They would come from you. I would have seen him. Yeah.
Well, you have the 3 of you have sophisticated tastes.
I'm not sure I would want to see it.
You, who like every movie.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd like that one.
The Wills would be in space.
It's basically Horton Hears a Who, but for Star Wars. How about now? Do you like Horton Hears a Who?
Yes.
You like when he hatches the egg?
Yes.
All right. Because that would have been the second movie. They would have hatched an egg. Some of those Wills would have hatched an egg. They find an egg, they hatch it.
I'll give it a maybe.
A maybe?
Yeah.
I know you would have.
You would have watched it on a plane, and then you wouldn't have told us if you liked it or not, and you wouldn't have said anything about the movie.
Yeah, maybe.
But you're an enthusiast, and you said you're an enthusiast.
I
Do you
am.
think you're an enthusiast?
Yes, though I think the best movie you've ever made is American Graffiti.
What about more?
American Graffiti. Yeah.
American
Can you say that
Graffiti?
into the
Say
mic?
that into the mic so we get it clean.
Yeah.
The best movie you've ever made was American Graffiti.
Wow.
All right. Now,
In my opinion.
yes. Now, critics choose their words carefully. I notice you didn't say the best movie you ever made is American Graffiti. Did you ever see more American Graffiti?
I have. Yeah.
What'd you think?
But I won't hold that against you.
No, that's a good movie. That's an underrated movie.
I do think it is underrated, actually.
Yeah, because it uses multiple aspect ratios.
He
Now, when
does.
Wes Anderson does it, everyone goes berserk.
He does.
Most people
But when
probably
executive
miss that.
producer George Lucas tries out multiple aspect ratios, everyone's too busy watching Star Wars movies by that time. And so it slips by. But I thank you for the compliment about American Graffiti. Very successful movie. Very
Every
funny
semester
movie.
I taught film history at University of Houston and the New Hollywood era. From 68 to 80. That always got shown, always. And students loved it. But I had to explain to them
What rock and roll is.
no.
What hot rods were.
I had to explain to them why it was significant that at the end of the movie, you have Richard Dreyfuss's character going off to Canada. And I had to explain to them, well, there are a lot of people his age went to Canada to avoid the draft. And it's like, huh?
Also, it's interesting when we came into this space earlier, as I said, the end credits for Wicked were running. You know how when you watch a really old movie, at the end, they'll just say, the end, and it'll be like a Warner Brothers picture. American Graffiti really started the trend for crediting all the people who worked on the movie. And that was because I didn't have the money to pay people what they deserved. So I said, how about you do this, and not only will you get paid this amount instead of what you really, what I would like to be able to pay them, what if I give you a credit at the end of the picture? So that's why it has all of these names at the end, and that really starts the trend. In the same way, also like soundtracks, like where you like score a movie the way, so like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is basically Quentin Tarantino's American Graffiti. It's like the way he scores his movies is like from his record collection, which is not the way people did it before then. I do want to recommend, because I think for American Graffiti fans and Star Wars fans, one of the true weird pleasures of More American Graffiti. More American Graffiti is a sequel to a movie where at the end of American Graffiti, we had the innovation of telling you on screen what happens to the characters after the movie. So there's like, we killed one of them off, etc., or we killed two of them off, actually. And so then we painted ourselves into a corner when we wanted to, let's tell some more American Graffiti. So we do this movie, and it takes place on multiple different New Year's Eves. That's the structure. It's a New Year's Eve movie. But at the very end of the movie, when the credits roll, the font that we used, the color of the letters and the fonts, is the Star Wars like blue credits at the end of the movie. Because at that point, there had only been one Star Wars movie. It wasn't this precious thing.
It was the only font you had.
It's to Bob Dylan from the new Timothée Chalamet movie. It's like a Rolling Stone is playing, and you see what look like Star Wars end credits, not over a starscape, but over a black screen. But it's basically the same thing. Very fun thing to experience. So we're gonna put a hard plug in for More American Graffiti.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has a song by your favorite because I know who here likes Timothée Chalamet? Everyone's favorite Wonka?
I do. Dune.
Yeah.
Dune 2.
Dune 2?
Space.
He makes, yeah.
Anybody?
He's
Dune?
going, he's
All right.
He's working
Great
his
movie.
way through
Love
the Lucas adjacent hits.
like
He's
Dune?
making Dune movies, which are
Did
kind
you
of
like
Star
Dune?
Wars-y.
I love Dune.
He's
I love
making
Dune too.
Dylan movies, which are kind of more American Graffiti. He's making Wonka movies. I'm diabetic.
So am I.
Hey,
Still a great movie.
Patrick.
Wonka.
Look at
Wonka was
this.
a great movie.
So yeah,
And
diabetes.
other end.
You
That's
like
right.
Wonka?
I loved it.
Did you
Because I remember the original, and that's what I grew up with.
But in the original, you didn't know that Willy Wonka couldn't read. That's new.
It was lost on me. I probably couldn't read when I watched it. So.
This was like a year ago.
Oh no, the other one.
All right. No, the original Gene Wilder's Wonka can read. I'm fairly certain.
Okay.
But the new Wonka, he can't read.
He can't read. He
Timothy
can milk
Chalamet,
giraffes.
because he can't read.
What?
Because Timothy Chalamet can't read.
No, of course he can read. He
okay.
probably can read in multiple languages.
Okay.
See, that's why he's such a good actor. He made you believe that he couldn't read.
You'll believe Wonka can't read. That's what it says on the trailer.
It's a great campaign.
Yeah.
Do you like Wonka?
I did. I liked it a lot.
Do you like Wonka? Didn't see it. What do you call that? Is that the critic's delight? What is that? What's the phrase for that when a critic doesn't see a movie so you don't owe your opinion to anyone?
Mike, here's your mic.
Mike. Hold your mic up. I can't even hear you.
I'm at a point in my life.
I love it.
Thank
He
you.
goes full resonance.
I see movies that I either want to see or I'm paid to see.
Right.
And nobody was paying me to go see Wonka, and I wasn't too interested in seeing it.
Wonka, Wonka, Wonka.
Wonka. Now, I did like Howard the Duck.
Oh, thank
I
you.
may be the first person.
It took this
That
long
is,
to get here.
that is, I'll say that. It's the first time someone else has made that pivot conversationally. That's normally my move. Sure, let's talk about it. You liked Howard the Duck because it's a great movie.
It was fun.
It was scary. It was exciting. It was romantic. It
Had
was
nudity.
sensual.
Duck tits.
Ooh. You created not just one world. You created the Duck Planet, but also this rift to other dimension. It's just did a lot of the stuff that the Avengers movie later did.
Yes.
Like, big scary monsters coming through a hole in the sky. Where did I see that before? Howard the Duck.
You'll believe a duck can play a guitar.
You'll believe a lady duck can take a bath.
I did not see that movie.
You didn't see?
I have.
He comes from
zero.
space, Drew.
It's a space movie.
It's a real space
But he's not real.
Trapped
No,
in the world
he's real.
that was not his own.
You sound like
He's
one
a
of the
duck.
characters in the movie.
He's a duck.
You must love it because it's an Earthbound movie where the space stuff comes to
The
Earth.
only
Exactly.
animal
Exactly.
aliens are cats.
You must love Instacart.
I'm just saying. The only alien animals are cats.
I'm sorry, George.
Not ducks.
You said to Alan, you must love Instacart?
Because he basically likes all the alien movies where you don't do pickup, you do delivery. You don't go to the planet. You have the aliens delivered curbside. Curbside aliens.
Is that how you got those Blu-rays, Alan?
Exactly.
Instacart?
Through Instacart.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you, George.
All right.
And this is a rumor that I had read. There's a book called Easy Riders, Raging Bulls.
Right.
The rumor is that you broke Bruce the shark.
You broke him, George?
That I'd read that an anecdotal thing that Steven Spielberg had brought Francis and you and some other people onto the set and showed him the shark, and Francis told you to stick your head in the mouth, and when you did, you accidentally got stuck.
It's true. Stuck my head in the shark's mouth, got stuck, broke the shark.
Wow. Were you trying to kiss the shark? Was that the problem?
No, I was just being silly. But I guess there is a little bit of the kissing impulse to approach, like when you're about to stick your head in a robotic shark's mouth. That probably is kind of not unlike kissing.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it on this level. This is like therapy. Yeah, I guess
saying,
on some level,
right.
I mean, I truly didn't. I wasn't trying to sabotage my buddy Steve.
Of course not. But
just,
your love of kissing is primal.
Yeah.
It's all-consuming.
And a shark is one of the most dangerous things to give a full mouth kiss to.
Right. It's the most extreme level of kissing.
Because I would never be, like, my mouth goes like this.
Yeah.
That's not wide enough unless I was kissing a baby
Sorry,
shark.
I missed it. Can you show me what your mouth looks like? That's what your mouth goes like.
Which,
okay.
unless I was kissing a baby shark, there'd be no way that I would, it's, like in the plot, this is actually related to the plot of Jaws, because there's the part where the guys catch the shark, and they're like, we caught Jaws.
Yeah.
We caught Jaws, the killer shark.
Yeah.
And then Richard Dreyfuss from American Graffiti, he comes there and he's like, the radius of the mouth,
Do the
shark
voice.
is too small. It's not the shark.
Raise the shark.
Woke politics.
Yeah, so like if we were gonna,
if the movie were made today, he'd be saying that. But
Yeah.
go on, yeah.
So I guess it makes sense that my version of kissing a shark would be like, I'm not even going to try to match mouths. I'll just put my whole skull into the shark's mouth, see what happens. Now I knew I knew it was a mechanical shark. It wouldn't have the same, I would never do that to a real shark, because I know if I did it to a real shark, I'd be dead.
Did you get thanked in that movie?
I don't think I got a thanks in that movie.
Was it like a no thanks?
It wasn't.
Was that on the credits? It's like no thanks to George Lucas, but
In
thanks to
spite
everybody else.
of
I've
George Lucas.
I've never had that kind of, movies have never done that to
Should
me.
you have for that stunt?
Yeah, honestly, if you said no thanks to my buddy George, I would have said fair enough. There's very few people who can claim that they broke the shark in Jaws.
Trying to kiss it.
Even fictionally, there's only one of the three people who went after Jaws who could claim he truly damaged that shark in a meaningful way, and that's Roy Scheider's character.
He blew it up with the.
Yeah,
and
you son of a bitch.
Smile,
Smile,
you son of a.
you son of a. Oh, they didn't hear me say bitch because of the. Yeah, because the noise of killing the shark. Do you like Jaws?
Love Jaws. One of my favorite movies.
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary. I think I've had a lifelong fear of sharks because of Jaws.
Now, you chose an interesting line of work.
Did I tell you I'm afraid of heights?
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think to some degree, I'm not saying you're overcompensating, but do you feel like there is a level of like exposure therapy of you trying to push past the limits of your fears?
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to
don't know.
psychoanalyze you the way we
You
did with
wanted-
George in the shark's mouth, but that's interesting. If
I guess maybe it's the same. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Overcompensating for kissing, you put your head in the mouth of a shark, and
You went up and down to the.
was like, oh, this is scary. Yeah.
Right, so you fought heights by going into space. You conquered your fear of heights.
And
And then you conquer your fear of sharks by going to the bathroom in the ocean.
Yep. Which, by the way, you don't know if there's a shark behind you.
That's right.
How would you know?
Well, there's only one way you know.
Offense and defense. So
there's only one way you
your
know,
hand
and
is
it's the
still there or
worst.
it's
It's the
not.
worst way. It would be the shark eating you,
or your hand.
Or
the
I
defensive hand.
consider my hand part of me. So if
Yeah, but I mean, if you just lost your hand, you'd
Yeah.
probably still be alive to know.
I think there's one other way you know if a shark is coming up behind you.
the music of John
Yeah,
Williams.
dun, dun,
music.
dun,
Yeah.
dun. That's,
But you
if you
can't-
hear the Jaws
Dun, dun,
soundtrack,
dun,
it's
dun,
probably
dun,
a
dun,
shark.
dun,
Yeah.
maybe.
We're gonna give something away to the audience. I'm very excited about it.
things.
Two things, really. But probably to two different people.
Yeah.
And it's, the merch. I mean, we talked about Walter merch, but the merchandising was a very important part of my career. And, I'm a retired filmmaker. I'm not in the game of saying what Star Wars merchandise gets made, and it's rare. I've seen it all. They come out with something like, oh yeah, we had something like that back in the day. It's very rare that I find new Star Wars merchandise that truly surprises me. This is Star Wars Slimy Ooze.
That's what it says on the label.
Star Wars Slimy Ooze, and it's these, what would you call these? Not beakers, like
Test
almost
tubes? Yeah.
Test tubes
Yeah.
filled with
Vials.
slimy ooze. They
Now,
look like they could have easily called them lightsabers.
Yeah.
They could
Yes.
have made them lightsabers, but no.
And they all
They're-
look the same.
They all
right?
look the same, but then you look on top,
Right.
and it says, one of them has a picture of Darth Vader, who is, of course, inside is Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
And it says Dark Side Ooze. And then there's a picture of Yoda, and it says Jedi Ooze.
Now, as you said, it feels like 10% extra effort. They could have made the packaging, the vials look more like lightsabers. I also think there are many different colors of lightsabers across the Star Wars canon. This is a color that never fucking appears.
It honestly looks a little bit Toydarian, if we're being honest.
It's a Toydarian.
I think this might be Toydarian ooze that they're labeling against the wishes of the FDA.
Where I come
Did
from,
you
we
fill
don't,
those speakers?
we don't call it ooze. That's not the term we use.
All
That's
right.
all I'll say.
I
Toydarian ooze
want
doesn't
to
sell.
warn people, because I'm not going to hand out. We're going to give out 2 tonight to audience members. Potential eye, skin, and ingestion irritant. Don't put it in your eyes. Don't put it on your skin.
No.
Don't eat it.
It's like, don't ever take it out of the
Yeah, just-
container that it's in.
In case
ever.
of contact with, they have the whole. There's one thing you can do with these, and it's take the cap off. It's built with
don't do it.
with caps that look like they screw off.
I wonder if it smells.
Don't find
Well,
out.
it doesn't say don't put it near your nose.
That's what
it
I'm
doesn't
saying.
say that.
They're gonna find out
In
for
case
us.
of contact with eye or skin, flush eye with water. Wash skin thoroughly. In case of ingestion or continued irritation, seek medical advice.
So you should.
Go to the
This
doctor.
totally does not seem safe.
Is it like the blood
don't
from
think-
the
so
aliens that will melt through the floor to the
Yeah.
center
Oh,
of the
sure.
earth?
Look,
It
it's-
says
it's-
that
yeah.
what
adult supervision recommended. It's not toxic,
So
but
the
it's not
same
for human
thing.
consumption.
It's the same thing.
Slime. Now again, this is slimy ooze.
You'd have to call poison control.
Slime.
It's a very simple, safe toy. The only thing is you just can't let it in or on you in any way.
Also, if you own things, slime can stain walls and furniture.
Right.
It's not suitable for wood, walls, fabric, or other porous surfaces. So if you're going to put this on a surface, you better make sure it's not porous, because the ooze, the slime, will get into the pores. Retain this information for future reference.
For the emergency
So just
room.
like remember.
Yeah.
They're just asking you to remember. Don't put it in your eyes. Don't put it in your mouth. This doesn't go on you or in you.
No.
Is there anywhere that says do
What is
not
the age
open
range
this
of that
package
toy?
ever?
It's look. The ingredients are simple.
Oh no. Oh no.
All right, deionized water. So this is
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
No
It-
iron.
It's taking the ions out.
Yeah.
Carboxyl methyl cellulose. Guar gum. Got any guar fans here?
Safe. So far safe.
Propylene glycol.
Yeah.
It's antifreeze.
Glycerine. Borax. My wife wrote a book. Please buy it. And phenoxyethanol. All right? And that's it. At the bottom it says Star Wars, Galaxy of Adventures.
Wait, it's a Galaxy of Adventures branded thing? Galaxy Adventures was like a series of animated shorts.
Please tell us something we don't know. Everybody here knew that. Who wants this in their life?
Got one right there. I see two right here.
Well, there are quite a
Oh,
few.
wait, someone's holding up the book. George, someone's holding up. Is that Melody's
looks-
book?
I see the light. Catch it. It is
So
priceless
sorry, one
facts
of you.
about money.
Here, AJ's gonna.
Yep.
Don't throw them at people. That could.
George, don't throw it,
Don't
George.
throw it.
Don't throw
You're gonna
it.
kill somebody.
Dark side. This is a dark side. Did anyone else bring a copy of Priceless Facts About Money tonight?
I have one.
Careful.
Well, then you were given.
Drew, you don't want this,
All
Drew.
I did was hand it to AJ, and he said, "It's coming unscrewed." I want to be clear. I do not vouch
And then
for these. I do not
one
vouch
of-
for their safety.
Who-
I
one
do
of
not
you,
vouch
one
for
of you
their
guys want
quality.
here? I saw you first. George, can we talk about this really quick?
Yeah.
We were looking at this. There's programs from this theater here.
This is a lovely space, a lovely venue.
Yeah, we
This
really
is
like it.
One of the nicer rooms that's ever allowed us to play.
Come support them. Come see
Yes.
movies here
Yes.
every night of the week. I'm
Yeah.
guessing. But on the back, it says, "Be a part of River Oaks theater history. Have a plaque engraved with your name or message of your choice attached to your favorite seat in the house."
Yep.
Is there anyone here from the River Oaks Theater? Rob, are you here?
He's.
Anybody?
Now, just for context,
You can get on the God mic too.
we've been doing this show for about 10 years now. George has been doing it for about 10 years now, exactly 10 years. And during the pandemic, we shifted to doing live streams that were mostly fundraisers for businesses and organizations that were struggling during the lockdown. And so we did a fundraiser for the Museum of the Moving Image in Queens, which is a wonderful
Great
museum, and it has incredible screens, everything. And they were doing this big renovation of their auditorium, of their screening room. And we raised a good amount of money, which helped them at a time where they were fully shut down. And then we got a little frustrated with ourselves because we realized the amount of money we had raised was not quite enough to get the plaque on a chair. So then we did a second fundraiser and said, we're being specific here. Here are the numbers we need to hit. And there are now in perpetuity 3 chairs at the Museum of Moving Image that say The George Lucas Talk Show, that's 1 chair. Watto, that's chair 2. And chair 3, I believe, says Snack Trick Nap Snore.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Which is a joke about the time that Patrick took a nap and then ate a snack.
Yeah. Am I mad? It doesn't say my real name. Yeah, a little bit, but it's okay.
It says Nap Trick
Well,
Snap.
it says the George Lucas Talk Show. It doesn't say retired.
I'm the
filmmaker
only
George
one with the
Lucas.
real name.
That's true.
And it's not even your full name.
So wait, is there anyone here from the theater?
Yes.
Okay, great. How much do these cost?
$2,000.
Okay.
So almost nothing.
Well, Patrick, I think that'd be a bargain at
Yeah,
twice
you've
the
got
price.
several billion. What are
Yeah,
you talking
that's-
about?
That's
Yeah.
basically $0.
So you're gonna get one?
I'll make you guys a deal.
Yeah.
We'll put a plaque up for your show if you promise that none of this Star Wars ooze gets on our carpet.
I think that's an easy deal,
Oh.
right?
Well,
Yeah?
now we need to get the 2 other people to
I'm
on board
getting
with this.
thumbs up from both of them.
Okay. And are the lids secure? Can we tighten them? Can we tighten the lids?
It's in a bag. That
It's
one is in a bag already.
Okay.
What do
I
you
also,
got? Okay, great.
Also, for legacy purposes, I want to make sure this doesn't curdle into a narrative that we somehow threatened to damage the carpet.
Yes.
I don't want to reverse engineer this, that
Yeah.
the George Lucas Talk Show came to town, threatened to damage the carpet with chemical waste,
A recently renovated historic site.
and they basically extorted their way into having a plaque on one of the chairs.
Yeah.
The Houston Chronicle's already written that article. I'm sorry.
Oh no!
Well, they also said this show was popular. And it's not unpopular.
They just
Whatever
seem wicked.
works.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Oh, now we're talking about Woody Allen movies?
Oh, no.
Now we've hit the part of the evening where the film discourse has truly gone off the rails.
Drew, I have a question. Rob, thank you. I will
Thank
figure
you,
that
Rob.
out. I want
You
that
got
to happen. Drew, you said when you were accepted to become an astronaut, right? That was in the year 2000, right? And then you went up in space 9 years later. How many people get accepted to be astronauts that never end up going into space? This is a genuine, real question.
It's pretty rare.
It's rare.
Yeah, I would say 99.9% of people, I guess, can you make that number?
Yeah.
Don't or usually fly in space. So if you're accepted to fly, if you're accepted to be an astronaut, the intent is to fly you to space.
Did you know that the 9 years was your timetable?
No.
Did you have an idea of when you would go up, or it was just like at some point?
At some point.
At some point.
You're
But there's
saying-
a lot of, I mean, astronauts fly in space when the time is right, and a lot of things have to sort of line up for that to happen. It has to do with flight opportunities, mission needs. During the early part of 2000s, 2003, we lost the space shuttle Columbia, so that changed a lot for the space program at that time. So a lot of things happened then.
What about if you were on a space mission and you came back to Earth and then you realized, like, oh, I left something up there? How hard is it to run it up the chain to be like, I really like that shirt.
I got to get back up.
I'd love to get back up.
That happens. When I was in space in 2018, I had another astronaut contacting me saying, can you look for this thing that I left in space? I want it back.
Did you find
Remember
it?
what it was?
No,
You
I didn't find it.
It's lost in space.
There have been
What-
items lost
what-
in space. yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's my buddy Ron made Apollo 13, and there's the Gary Sinise character. He's supposed to go up, and then he doesn't get to go up.
Yeah.
So
it does happen. It does
Yeah,
happen.
and
Not-
then
it's
and
pretty
then
rare.
your buddy Brian made Mission to Mars, and the Gary Sinise character goes up, stays up. Spoiler for Mission to Mars.
That's right.
Yeah.
He doesn't ever come back.
So at what point did you feel personally where you were like, I'm ready to go, I'm good, I could do it today if you want me to do it today?
I think if people are being honest with themselves, it's not for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But after 9 years, did you have like friends and relatives say, "Okay, are you really an astronaut?
Well,
have you been BSing us?"
I mean,
You
in
know?
all, just to be clear, I was assigned to the mission after 6 years, and there was a 2-year delay because of loss of Columbia, and the mission was the Hubble Space Telescope repair mission. So we actually had to train for 3 years, which is an exceptionally long time just to pull off the mission.
And you had to repair the camera.
I did.
Yeah. I've had trouble with cameras before.
Yeah.
My buddy Walter Murch, director of Return to Oz. We were at Altamont working on Gimme Shelter, the Rolling Stones documentary. It was my first film credit. And we're up on the hillside. We're noodling around with this camera, and the film in my camera jams.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to film any of the chaos that ensued because people were murdered
It was
at that
the
concert.
second worst thing that happened that
You
night.
guys, you guys have you've had Mike Massimino on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on the same mission. We were
Oh,
there
yeah.
together.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he tell you any great stories about the Hubble Space Telescope repair mission?
Yeah, but we want to hear them from you.
Did he tell you about the time that he broke something off the
I
telescope?
think he did actually, but none of these people were here for that, so they don't know that story.
Yeah.
And
You
the
haven't had
rule
them on
the rule
in many
was
years.
whatever you do,
Yeah.
don't break the telescope. But
Yeah.
we
It's a
purposely
great-
broke the telescope.
In fairness, a fantastic rule.
Yeah.
Don't
we had
break
another
the
rule.
telescope.
The other rule was if it's shiny and looks expensive, don't touch it.
Right.
Yeah, when you're on a spacewalk, that's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And-
expensive.
And you didn't touch shiny stuff in space.
No,
You didn't break the telescope. You fixed the
no,
telescope.
right? Yes.
But Mike,
Mike broke it.
He broke
I
it.
actually told him to break it. I was on the inside while he was on the outside. I said, Mike, you need to break off the handrail.
right? You're the ideas man, and he's the muscle.
I didn't come up with the idea. I just delivered the message.
That's right.
You can't shoot the messenger.
Mike is also the first man to tweet from space.
He was on that mission.
Were you
2009.
mad that you didn't get to do that?
No,
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
no, I didn't care. Yeah, it was important to Mike, but it didn't
Yeah.
matter to me.
Would you go back up?
Yes,
Would you go back down?
absolutely. That's the best part.
You'd
That's the
rather
best
go
part.
down
Get
than
to
back
go
up. You'd rather go down than go up?
Oh yeah. To be clear,
Oh,
I wasn't
wait,
asking
from
whether
space
you
or
I
underwater?
wasn't asking whether you'd stay in space.
Yeah, okay,
When
that's what I
say-
thought you meant.
I
'cause
mean, you. 'Cause
one-way
you're-
trips are a thing for
I
some
get the
people.
feeling that you're an astronaut and that you're kind of ashamed of this aquanaut part, like it's your side hustle.
It's because of the bathroom thing, George. He's really.
But he went to the bathroom in space. Is that just because it's cooler because it forms a bubble and floats around?
Ask him. Don't ask me.
Yeah, that's an even different story than the other one. Like, as fascinating as the first story was about underwater, imagine everything floats. in
Do you have to
space.
go outside when
Yeah.
you're on the spaceship?
Not to go to the bathroom.
Okay,
No,
I
but
just
you-
had to check. I
but you
didn't
gotta
miss-
make
But you could if you needed to. It just would take you a long time.
You
to
have
wake
to
up when you
You
got
got to
out.
make sure that you're
Yeah.
hooked in, right?
No, you got to make sure your diaper fits well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to weigh the newspaper down so it doesn't float away.
Yeah, that's a show in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be very careful when you go to the bathroom in space.
I
You
mean,
can have a
I
good
think
day in the bathroom or a really bad day in the bathroom.
Let's
That
be
sounds
fair.
tough
This
for
is not
me,
this is
yeah.
not specific to outer space. I think you have to be careful
No, it
everywhere
is.
you go to the
This
bathroom.
is a good
I
No,
mean,
it's different.
I
This
don't
is a
think
good
that
point.
suddenly you get back down to earth and it's like the great thing about being on earth is you no longer have to be careful about where you go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Like, we've built an entire society in which these rules are precious to us. All right? Because it's
But
not.
let's face it, you can go to the bathroom. Guys can go to the bathroom, at least number one, when no one's looking.
Right.
where
But
they
even then, you want to
want.
be careful. You don't want to piss all over yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'm being serious here.
For the first time tonight,
The way that we do these things is precious.
the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
The way, I mean, I don't think that I'm speaking out of turn here.
No.
You know, when I made that great speech about the way, the inspirational way, what were the words I said? Where
You
I
have
said,
it, don't you?
Oh, no, I
Nobody
handed it back, but I will
remembers.
get it. Can I have my speech?
Do you want to deliver your speech? We could probably get a spotlight. Do you want to do the speech in a spotlight, George?
Yeah.
Can we get a spotlight for George?
Can-
Is that
can you-
possible?
George, can you do an on your feet rewrite
Coming. Yeah.
to match the
Yeah.
topic?
George, come here. Come up front, and we'll see if we can get a
I
spotlight.
bet we can get the spot right on me.
No spotlight.
No spotlight. Okay,
We
sorry.
can't do it. Coming out of film school, I looked at the world and said, well, this isn't the way they told me it was going to be. This is terrible. We don't go to the bathroom the way we thought we did. And that to a young person is a revelation. It's like, hey, it isn't a wonderful place. It's a horrible place. People are going to the bathroom wherever they want. And so you spend a lot of your time saying, I'm going to tell people about the mistakes that people are making and how they go to the bathroom. But really, anybody over 30 is well aware of what kind of a world this is. And these kinds of revelations, the fact that the world is not what we think it is in terms of where, when, and how people are going to the bathroom, I've discovered in my making movies that they don't really help the society very much ultimately. What helps is to sort of promote the human spirit, to say, let's think of ourselves as those good people that know where, when, and how to go to the bathroom. We were brought up in the fairy tale of adolescence, of childhood, to believe we were. And let's promote those ideas and believe in that, because it's that kind of faith that makes that happen in reality. If we feel we're a terrible society, that there are no rules, and that we don't have to be careful about where, when, and how we go to the bathroom, then that will overcome all of us, and it will just be anarchy and death and horror.
Wow. George, we should get some plugs.
Yeah, let's promote things that we wish to promote.
And remember, in space, no one can hear you pee.
There you go.
Now, I want to get a fact check on this. Is that true? It was silent within the space station?
That's not true within the space station.
In space? No, but yeah, but you never went out the airlock.
To pee?
Yeah.
Did you ever pee on a spacewalk?
Okay, truth be told, I peed 5 times before my spacewalk in my diaper. For the first spacewalk ever.
Wow.
I was really nervous, so I had to pee.
Yeah.
2 minutes ago, Patrick leans over to me and says, "We gotta wrap it up."
I just thought of that great
And
question.
10 seconds ago, you ever pee on a spacewalk?
Also, I have to say, and this isn't a gotcha situation, but just a few minutes ago, you were extolling the freedom that you had to be very careful about where you went to the bathroom in space. But now you tell the story about 5 times before your spacewalk.
Yeah, but you have to be careful.
But you have to have your diaper on.
You have to use it properly.
What's the word? Like, don't wear it on your head.
Well, like, you just don't want pee going
How do you
everywhere.
use a diaper improperly? Like, read it like a newspaper?
Well, you got to kind of lean into it.
You just fasten it tight, right? And you make sure that
Yeah, but you still got to lean into it. Fluids go wherever they want.
What do you mean lean into it? I genuinely don't understand this.
There's no gravity.
But you have a diaper on. That's sealed. That's locked down.
Are you saying physically lean into the diaper?
You got to lean into it, yeah.
Look, I'm wearing Depends. You want me to show you?
No. I
you have to.
I'm not wearing Depends because billionaires have a secret brand of diaper that is you can't get it. You can't.
What is it called again?
What?
Can you
I'm
tell?
I'm not gonna tell.
You can fucking tell people.
I figured now's the time.
It's a billionaire secret.
It's a billionaire secret. We have a secret brand of diaper for aging billionaires. It works better. The tech is 50 years ahead of anything that's available commercially.
Yeah.
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 Plugs. What would you like to promote?
Got that to look forward to.
What would you like to promote? Is there anything you'd like to alert people to say, like, hey, I have this going on. I'm interested in you finding out about it.
Joe, what's your favorite film of 2024?
Well, so far, the Dead Don't Hurt.
That's the Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo
Vicky
Mortensen.
Creeps.
Yes.
It's a Western.
Yes.
Bad things happen in it.
Yes. And you were talking about movies you like that no one else liked. I liked Horizon. I thought the Kevin Costner film.
Is this a golden age of 21st century Westerns?
It seems to be.
There's an upswing. There is an upswing happening.
Yes.
How do you feel about the hostage situation surrounding Horizon American Saga Part 2? A finished film that is seemingly never going to be released.
Well, Kevin told me he's going to get it released and he's going to make the other two.
Oh, Kevin can wait.
And, I think what'll happen is it'll pop up on a streaming platform, and the other two will. And like you say, people will go back. That was a pretty damn good movie.
All right. So you're staking a claim that right now people are sleeping on a couple of great Westerns in cinema.
Yes.
That's a good thing for people who like Westerns. Those are some, if you haven't seen them, check them out. Do you think Horizon was worth Kevin Costner not returning to Dutton Ranch?
Well, the thing is this. I don't think I'm telling tales out of school here.
It's fine if you are.
Well,
School is not in session.
Costner had to know that he was never going to be given a shot at making a movie or movies like Horizon again, because he was never going to be as big again as he is with Yellowstone.
Right.
Now, the problem is, you had the writer's strike. You had all sorts of things that were stopping the production. And,
Yeah. And, I haven't seen the new season of Yellowstone, but I assume they just wrote him out by saying, like, he's not here anymore.
They killed
that's
him.
what they
They
did.
killed him.
No, but you just, it's easy. As a writer, you just fix it. Like, he's gone. He's not here anymore.
Yeah, he just left like
That
5
guy's-
minutes ago.
Yeah, oh,
You missed
wanna
him.
talk-
You just
he was
missed him.
just here.
He was
just
just
here.
And he was
You're
so-
watching Yellowstone.
He was his
Yeah,
good
he's
old
gone.
self.
He's
Exactly the
it
same.
all revolves around him, but he's over there. Oh, you missed
He's in
him.
the other room.
gone.
The crazy thing is, even now, he gets first billing. in
He's
the
still
opening
credited on the
credits.
new episodes in which he's gone.
And I mean, in the first 10 minutes of
That's
the
when-
first episode that came back.
It's a good fucking
That's a good deal.
contract.
Yeah,
that's a good
incredible.
deal.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Alan, what's your favorite film of 2024 so far?
I really like Conclave a lot. I love The Substance, too. The Substance is wild.
The Substance of Conclave?
Yeah, both of those kind of tied with me.
Or the movie that's also, the different movie called The Substance.
Yeah, the
Because Conclave is a substantial film.
Yes.
So when you say, I love Conclave, I love The Substance, it makes it sound like you're still in the first review.
Do you like the style?
The style? Yeah.
Or just the substance?
Wait, you like the style of The Substance?
That's what I meant.
Yes, I do. The Substance is a good horror film, and Conclave is a great movie about picking a new pope. And dug them both a lot.
Drew, what's your favorite planet of 2024 so far?
Earth.
Hell yeah! Oh! Hell yeah! You Number one!
George, can I just say, once we finish the show, we're going to be out at that table out there signing posters, so
Wait,
come
but
say
what
hi.
table is that? What would that table
Oh, what do we
be
call
called?
it?
The Walter Merch table.
Call it the Walter Merch table. Come say hi, though. Would love to see you, and thank you so much for coming out to the show.
And I also want to promote my wife's book, Priceless Lessons About Money.
Priceless lessons about money, George?
Priceless facts about money.
It's all the same.
Yeah, well, facts are a form of lesson, and lessons are a form of fact.
Available at all your great local bookstores, but not the Royal Oak Barnes & Noble, because I fucking cleaned them out before Patrick could make his way there.
But if they know what they're doing, they will have already reordered. If they should actually be modeled for copies, so there's an automatic reorder when they sell out.
I want to go on the app and see if it's on the app. You can go on the app and type in the book, and I can see if it's across the street right now. But if they're all gone,
Yeah, well, there's no way they got it in this evening.
But if you all call and say, "Hey, I'm looking for this. Can you put in an order?" and they're like, "I think like 100 people want to order this book."
It's one of Oprah's favorite things.
Yeah.
It's on Oprah's favorite things list. So it's doing really well. It's a kid's book about money, and it teaches the history of money, and it's one of those things that you don't necessarily get taught. I don't remember ever being taught in school about money or the history of money.
No.
So it's very fun. It's sort of like Star Wars, but for money. Think of it that way. And it's for girls and boys. It's for everybody.
Perfect.
It's a great book. Well, I want to thank our lovely guests for joining us here. I want to thank the Brooks Theater for having us. Watto, do you have anything to plug?
Priceless facts about money.
Thank you.
Yes, and I look forward to seeing Horizon Part 2. I hope it's viewable sometime soon.
Well, thank you so much for coming out to see the show. Stay dry in the rainy night outside, and may the force be with you always.